All right, we are here. I am Code Dameron, and I am here casting a very special game between my good friend Jim Cocoros and my good friend Daniel Trujillo. Um, we are in the summer 2020 um, elimination round, and this is the final. This is the first round of the elimination round. I have decklists on screen. My friends can't see it. But they can see each other and they won't be able to hear me. Do you guys have anything to say before I go over to just the commentary?
No, thank you for doing this. It's
Yeah.
it's a little intimidating though.
Oh, please. You two are the ones who are going to have to focus. Good luck to you guys.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Cole.
Cuts.
All right, I have muted myself to them.
Oh, no, you're good.
And we will take their audio and just kind of bring it to a minimum. I'm going to do it this
Can
way,
you see
though,
everything left or right?
so that they're not
All right.
in my
Yeah, you're
ear.
good.
Okay. My discard pile is going to be up here next to my affiliation card.
All right.
Let's just bring the speakers down. All right. So, we are watching a very interesting matchup. I've lost to Jim was in my pool, and I lost to him on the dark side. So I know more about his dark side than I know about Daniel's light side right now. We'll talk about this matchup right now. Jim's dark side matchup has all the hits. It has double hunter, double Jabba, double BK. But instead of going double Guri, he's actually split the Guri with the recon mission to get the twist, which is really strong. It's really strong. I don't know what to do about that. And also, I'm gonna put myself away. Let's go away. Focus on them. Focus on them.
Okay. Okay.
Curiosity.
Jim knows how to play this deck inside and out. He knows the biggest thing that Jim knows is how to close a game out with this deck, which seemingly has no bombs. By running the recon mission, by running the Hunter in the Night, and by running Jabba's Chud, and then of course running double BK, he has a ton of extra bombs that once Jim can actually clear out Daniel's board, then yeah, he's gonna do what he can to close out the game.
You're good. Don't worry about it.
I'm going to go even
Alright,
soft.
I got
We
a
don't
key.
need these guys. Yeah. Okay. So Jim is obviously playing this scum deck, and he flops Recon Mission Guri Jabba. That is easily Jim's best flop. So Jim is going to have a hard time losing edge battles. He's going to have a hard time being behind on cards. Jim is already set up for just a great game. If he goes turn one Jabba, then it's just really rough for Daniel. So what is Daniel going to do? Daniel is playing this nonsense list that nobody knows what it does. It is the Rainbow Spider list. He is running double Sabine, double Spider, and the Jabba birds are actually going to do a really good job handling Jim's Jabba. Doesn't handle the Guri, but Guri isn't that scary. One thing to note about the Jabba birds, you can only use one of them per turn. So if Jim gets two threats out, like Joss and BK, then you can't really deal with them all. And Jabba birds also say that you can't gain icons, which is kind of a big deal. So you can take away all of someone's guns, and then they can't gain guns from the allies of necessity, from the Guri's vibro knife. You can't gain guns from the arms dealer. Okay, so Jim starts with a bounty board, which is just a smart turn one play. Not double focusing on high exaltedness means that he's actually not getting the Jabba this turn. Maybe he'll get it next turn. Maybe he's going for a big 5 cost next turn. I would like to see that. I don't know if the bounty board is going to actually help scoop up any units unless it's from Life Creates It. Unclear. Okay. Jim has a slow first turn. At least he puts a unit on the board. Isn't going to take someone opposed from a Jabba bird. 2 units is a much better turn. Especially playing 3 cards from a 7 card hand. That's strong. Yeah, Jim's going to put the Freelance Assassin on the board? Or Vibro Knife? Master of Night. Okay. This is just a not great hand after a mulligan from Jim. But he found some cards. Back to Daniel. I don't think he found the Sabine off of the Explosives Artist. But Daniel is usually about to play Sabine for the money on turn 1. He is so happy to just use her as a ramp spell, which is kind of weird in the Scum matchup, but the Jabba Bird kind of protects her. What else is Daniel going to do? I am so excited to see what Daniel will do with this board. Hold on. Jim, my friend, that's a blaster pistol on a droid. Sorry, friends.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I can unmute myself momentarily to be a judge, um, which is legit. Okay, so easy, quick catches. Let's look at Daniel's list. So
Let's see.
he's running Alderaan's Promise, which I think is a great pod. It has two 3-dot cards holding the Force. It has Bale having double tactics right now is actually going to be kind of scary. Sabine.
I'll dump one.
Sabine's gonna give Bale a third tactics. Spider with the paint job is just very scary, and there's not a whole lot of great ways to deal with it. So, Daniel's actually running this one Forgotten Masters pod, which I don't know how to value in this matchup, but Daniel's about to actually go pretty hard on this. Jim having only one blocker that can't deal with either the Lost Master or Sabine. A painted Sabine
And let's go to conflict.
with no money right now, but might
Send
well equipped herself.
Sabine at the Java objective.
Sabine to Jabba. Okay. I can hear it just as loud as you guys can right now. Maybe mine's a little bit louder, but I put the volume down pretty far to kind of have my own thoughts in it. So Sabine, this is a really good start from Daniel. But like, let's look at this. If Jim had actually started on a really strong start like the Jabba, like Jim's start says Jabba pass, but Jim didn't find Jabba pass. Jim found play 3 cards pass. Lets Sabine go unopposed, and very presumptuously lets her do the thing instead of Daniel doing some sort of. Oh, he might do the well-equipped now. Oh, if Daniel has a well-equipped in hand, then this is looking real bad for Jim, because he actually attacked Exaltedness first, which means that Sabine will get 4 bombs, probably on the recon mission. There it is. Oh, that's so bad for Jim.
No, I don't.
Yeah, what is Jim gonna do about this? What did Daniel do to deserve to obtain this gameplay? What did Daniel do? Because what I was gonna say is Jabba doesn't even stop this play because the Jabba Bird is there to protect it. Jim actually played one of the better units he could here in the Forlom.
Move it on to the Lost Master.
Blow up recon.
Oh man, he size matters knots to take out the objective. Okay, this is really bad for Jim. Jim not only lost an objective, it's his recon mission, which is cards, and it's he didn't get the Jabba trigger because he didn't have an objective down there yet. That is one of the most disastrous turn 1 I've seen out of a dark side turn.
I think recon.
Okay, so let's look at Daniel's deck under a new light. Let's just say it's double striking Sabine with Journey Through the Swamp. That's one of the things I hope to see more out of this card pool, is finding ways to make your units again, and by using well-equipped and Size Matters Knots and God draws, because Daniel just knows how to draw really good cards.
Lost Master.
Yeah, the Sabine just goes nuts and takes an objective and a half. But like, let's remember, Daniel did not get. Daniel got very lucky to draw these cards, but Jim's defense was doomed to fail from the moment he flopped the Jump Bird. Jim can't defend on that with the Jump Bird out, and he still didn't handle the Jump Bird. He has no real good way to deal with it either. He really has to just focus out the Sabine, but how's he going to do that with a Jump Bird defending against any errant tactics icons? And Jim, this is looking like a quick game to me. Yeah, they can't hear me. This is a rough game. Okay, let's take stock. How does Jim come back into this game? Jim finds the right objective to draw more cards. Jim plays a droid, which is smart. Oh, Iggy C. Or Iggy D. Iggy D was the way that Jim...
Can that go on anyone? Or any?
No enhancements on a Jump Bird, my friend.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Okay.
Can't give him a sword or put him in a cage. No birds in cages. Interesting. This is the second time that a very narrow ruling on enhancements comes out to bite Jim. First, he can't put a blaster pistol on the Forlom, then he can't put a containment field on the Jubbird. Big brain plays from Daniel. He knew about the about this. Man, Jim can't catch a break. So what does he do?
I'll put a death mark on Sabine.
Death mark on Sabine is a really good start. Yeah, eat her now.
Kill Sabine.
Yeah, eat her now, so that you can't. Like if Sabine finds the armor on Daniel's turn, then Jim is so sad. Jim loses right there. So I think this is one of the better plays that Jim could have made. Play a droid, which can't get Jubbirded. Play a way to kill Sabine, without attacking.
The damaged one or the up one? Or the healthy one?
Jim losing the Force. Like Jim also had the answer for taking the Force too. So Jim found all the right cards, but unfortunately the ruling is that you can't enhance a bird. Interesting. Okay, so question, what was Jim's best turn? I think the answer is something that looks like that. He found an extra money, he played 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, and left Daniel with no icons showing, no units. Daniel unlikely to attack, but now he finds a spider. What does Daniel look for? So Daniel is actually running the Gardener's Secret, which he loves running with Sabine. Playing a junk dealer gets you like that really good custom paint job, just brings it back. He plays Diplomatic Presence on his. I think he just played that to play it. Okay, plays on Alderaan. That's a little smarter. It can, in a pinch, well equipped for money. It can refresh itself. It has 6 health, so now it has like a extra layer of defense. It's a good card. No, it's not a good card. But Daniel played 1, 2, 3 cards that turn out of a 6-card hand. Means he's going to draw some more. If Daniel didn't lose the Sabine that turn, I think Jim loses another objective here. I don't think he loses the game, but Sabine could walk into Jabba's house pretty unopposed, given Jim's board. So that's kind of good for him. Yeah, like if... Actually, I think Jim might lose if he didn't lose... If Kiramode kept the Sabine, if Daniel kept the Sabine on the board, he goes Spider, Here I Come at Jabba's. Daniel has to defend with both guys. To not take unopposed in the spider, and then Sabine walks in and something blows up the last one. Yeah, that's Jim found the turn he needed. And I don't think Jim has been playing this deck from this far behind ever before. Show me Iggy D. Jabba. You see, that's so bad. Jabba's good because, okay, now he has the Hutt's Hospitality in the discard pile. He can get that back when he loses that objective. He can take the... He has to commit all 3 to take the Force?
Declare no conflicts?
Declare no conflicts. He's going to commit all 3. He needs to take the Force, or else he'll lose Jabba's objective. See, if Daniel wins the Force there, I actually think he wouldn't ping Jabba's objective. I think getting that unopposed damage is incidental. It's not so hard. And I think getting the 3rd bomb, or rather the 5th bomb on Guri's would be harder. And if you kill Jabba's objective, then Jim would get 2 events back, which really just means Hutt's Hospitality comes back and kills the Lost Master. That's a real cost. So, Daniel's back to full money. He still has Lost Master focus, but that's not so bad. Plays another 1-cost Black Bomb that Jim doesn't have the money to bounce. It's pretty good. I wonder if he attacks with it, because that's a free attack. That is a free kill, or at least a free bomb. What could Jim do against that? With the Jubbirds out, Jabba is no threat. It's amazing how one Jubbabird just on the table completely invalidates Jabba. So this might be... I don't think that's the end of the game, but yeah, Daniel gets to commit the bail now, and Daniel just and Jim just can't attack into that. Daniel has so much defense on this very wacky board, and next turn he's going to have like 2 Lost Masters which are unopposed. Jim needs to find Iggy D. Iggy D is Jim's only chance, probably with a Vibro Knife, I would even say, because then Iggy D would have the 3rd gun to shoot through a unit and get a tactics. And the reason AED is important, I know I'm thinking about this, but I know people might not be assuming this, is that he's a droid, and Jim has been playing droids. Droids can't be Jabba birded, which is a big deal. And look at how bad that well-equipped looks in Jim's hand. It's on the only target would be this committed Forlom, and as opposed to Daniel's deck, which could make a money and has Sabine's kit to make other options. What I think is going to happen is that I think Daniel's going to find either a junk dealer or a Momaw. Really, any of the units in Momaw's pod. And he's going to get a bomb or the custom paint job back. And Jim is going to be in a lot of trouble. It is nice to see how much of a speed bump killing Sabine was for Jim. But I don't see how he can take the Force here. Like, if he had Springing the Ambush, he can't trigger it. Oh, Daniel actually has an extra dot. He has 8 on the Force with the Lost Master. Huh. What's Jim gonna do? And like, normally it'd be like, oh, just defend on Guri or something. Because Jabba is a huge threat here. But you can't get under the Jabba birds. There it is, Iggy D. BK. 4 for BK. Okay, so now Jim has an option. Jim's option is defend on Jabba, BK. You have to defend with both, because Jabba's going to lose his icons, but that lets BK keep his. But then Jim has to win an edge battle. I mean, flashes to Jabba, which is kind of nice. The other out Jim had was to actually find the other Master of Night, put it on Jabba. Unfortunately, he had to play it on the Forlom turn 1. I bet you he had that well-equipped in hand. Maybe. But he was just trying to get cards out of hand. Jim was. And Forlom was the place to put it. But Master of Night on Jabba, like, at some point we'll see this matchup swing back, because it is a best of 5 series with no timer. And that Master of Night on the Jabba, just to prevent the Jabba bird, is a huge deal. And look, there's the arms dealer. Actually, that arms dealer is a big deal, because he says, remember the Jabba birds prevent you from gaining icons? Well, now if you take the icons from Jabba, then BK can get the third gun and actually take care of 2 units at a time. And if you take the icons from BK, then yeah, Jabba can only get 2 tactics and he can't kill anything, but that gun is... That extra potential gun says, hey, maybe you take the icons from BK and let Jabba stop 2 of your units. That's a step up for Jim. Jim is floating $2. Okay, so here's the thing that I was forgetting about: threat removal. Jabba makes threat removal free, but now Jim can actually threaten the threat removal. But again, remember, Daniel could be playing the junk dealers. Daniel drops a junk dealer, puts a free paint job on Bail Organa, or even on the Spider. Rainbow Spider has, what, 6 black icons and 5 health? Ugh. And can't be threat removed, which is a huge deal. Man, I don't want to admit that Daniel's deck is good. I don't know what's in this deck. This is just a bunch of pods thrown together. He's playing Running the Trench and Strike Team Assemble. Oh. Okay, let's talk about Running the Trench. Jim plays Running the Trench as a 2x. That's got I Have You Now in it, and 2 3-dot cards with 2 mains. Daniel loves that pod because it has the 2 mains, but also Jim likes the pod because I Have You Now keeps you honest. You can't be playing threat removal with Jabba and expect to get threat removal off, because you'll lose the edge battle. They'll get I Have You Now, and then Jabba dies, and then threat removal can't go off. There was a timing discussion about this with Tyler. I'm pretty sure that Jabba dies before threat removal can be played, which also means that Jabba can't reduce the cost of threat removal. But at least Jim is floating the 2 money for that. Jim was a part of that conversation. I think we had confirmed it with Tyler. So, Jim. Jim loses the Force. Daniel keeps the Force, and Daniel takes out the objective. Daniel takes out Jabba's objective. This tells me that Daniel isn't going all in this turn. If If Daniel like peppers up the Guri objective, that means he's going to swing all out of Guri, grab an unopposed damage at Jabba's. Instead, he goes, okay, I don't need to do that big of a turn this turn. I still have now 9 on the Force with a double Lost Master against Jim's 5. Ugh. And also, Daniel can just free. One of the things about Jub Birds is that you can commit them, and you can sack them pretty much whenever you want. And that lets Daniel free up those Force cards for if he really needs to commit something else, he can. It's kind of relevant with Trasa, like playing with the number of units on the Force. Ooh, if Daniel plays Trasa here, that would be really bad. But okay, he's playing a money. That means Daniel's not going in. Certainly, right? Jim is holding... What did he play? BK plus Aqualish? So that means Jim is holding 4 cards because he doesn't have Recon Mission anymore. Dice? Oh, man. So Daniel plays Dice instead of saving money for the Spider. Yeah, Daniel goes Conflict Force, which is just gross. Dial's at 5. Guys, can I get a dial check? What's the dial?
5.
Dial's at 5, thanks. Okay, dial's at 5. This is super relevant for game points because turns out Darkside's a little bit better in this format, but Daniel's...
Kill a Lost Master.
Okay. Let's look at the matchup of these decks. Is Daniel's deck stronger? I don't think the answer is strictly yes. I think that Daniel has found... It is clear that Scum is the dominant metagame right now. 11 of the decks are running some version of 5 pods of BK Jabba Guri, lots of them with Joss. And Daniel is like, okay, Jubbirds deal with this. Sabine with her armor is really hard to take out for this Scum deck, for any deck, but... and Daniel is playing this wacky deck with all of these tools, where as long as he keeps them on the table by... Turn 1, he got that turn 0, he actually got the Jubbird with the Journey Through the Swamp. And that has been just ravaging, passively destroying Jim's board from turn 1. From turn 0.
Send 1 for a Twi'lek Sycophant.
Okay, Twi'lek. If Jim actually gets Iggy D on the table, because I know he's looking for him.
Hospitality.
He found an event.
Yeah, Hospitality.
Yeah.
Guys, what's the event?
Hut's Hospitality.
What was it? I'm sorry. Hold on.
Hut's Hospitality.
Hospitality. Thank you. Yeah, my audio is kind of low. Okay, so much better. Thank you. Yeah, so Jim shows he finds the Hospitality from the Twi'lek, which is clearly the best option. Like, if Jim finds the...
No.
Jim needs to find the death marker, something.
Oh, do you remember what your hand was?
Yeah, I know exactly what it was.
Okay, just play.
Because that Hospitality, I mean, at least it has a target, right? At least it can kill the Lost Master. That's a black bomb. That's real. Daniel technically only has 2 bombs on the table. One of them's on the Lost Master. The other one's on the white bomb and dice.
I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
Does Daniel's deck, like, hey, look, let's put 2 units with 2 bombs in the deck by playing Running the Trench. Let's play Trasa to get 3 units with bombs. Man, Daniel's deck is so weird. I look at it, I don't know how it's working. But it is double striking with Size Matters Not, which is a card that is so easy to forget, even though it is the most powerful card in that deck, in that pod. No, it's got 5 really good cards. Okay, Hospitality to hand from Jim. He also finds Iggy D's objective, which is potentially relevant with double droids. Like, the problem is there's no... I don't see anything happening with this matchup where these droids end up living in an engagement and the game's not just over. Like, yeah, it would be good to get 2 guns with the battle droid and then shoot Bail, yada yada. I don't know. Jim plays second Twi'lek, whiffs, which he probably saw coming. There's only 2 Alliance of Evil in his deck left, and maybe the threat removal. Because you see he discarded the event from Iggy D. and he already played the other hospitality. So okay, second Twilight isn't so bad. If it replaces in your hand, but it didn't. So, how does Jim win this game? I think there's no way he wins this game. And the reason is Daniel can sit on not only the force, but just sit forever. The dial's only at 5, and Jim's deck is meant to play from ahead, play from targeted strike tempo, and not allow nonsense like this to build up. Really, the jump birds, again, are destroying Jim, and his really bad response to Daniel's explosive turn 1. Things that tell me that Jim can't win this game include the fact that there's no damage on Daniel's board. If Daniel had damage on his board, then Jim could threaten to get dialed to 9, close out 2 objectives. Jim's deck doesn't have bombs in it. It has most of its bombs on the table. It has the one from the Battle Droid, it has BK, it has the Arms Dealer, it has Forlom. That's an objective's worth of bombs right there if you get unopposed, but that is so hard to do ever. And Daniel's board is incredibly defensive. He doesn't even have money for the spider. Daniel was so confident in Jim not attacking. Also, he has a big board. He didn't need to save money for the spider. But you have to imagine that next turn Jim is going to just Daniel's going to declare an attack against Guri, use dice. Jim is going to cry as he tries to defend. It will be BK, Jabba, and some hodgepodge crew of other units, maybe even all of them. I wouldn't mind just defending with more or less everybody, especially the Twi'leks. Try to stop as much. Like, if you can stop the objective from popping, then those extra guns from the Twi'leks is real. Maybe he kills a Twi'lek instead of a battle droid, and you get a ping from the Iggy D objective. There's almost certainly going to be an Allies of Necessity in this hand, given Jim played 2 neutral 1-drops. I don't know. I'm trying to find a way that Jim wins this game. So, okay. Best case scenario for Jim. Daniel attacks. Daniel goes dice. Jim defends hard. Daniel overcommits to the attack. Pretend Daniel wins the edge battle, and Jim threat removes the bombs. I don't know. None of this looks good. Is Daniel just gonna pass 3 times and win? Daniel could really just pass. Daniel could like play a unit and pass. Cause Jim can't attack into this board. Jim can't attack. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's go back to how does Jim win this game. Daniel attacks. Oh man. Trujillo now gives Daniel edge 2. Because he has more units committed. He has 4 committed to Daniel's 3, which is super relevant, that Lost Master. Ooh, actually, you know what? He doesn't have that. He has... Jim has a Hospitality in hand, so that Lost Master is essentially dead. Trujillo doesn't really have edge 2, but it takes the Hospitality from Jim. Yeah. Hospitality, pass, dial to 6. Daniel again, like waiting for his Alderaan money to come back. Brutal. And Daniel just realizing that he's already won this game by not attacking. If Jim wants to force, which he needs to take, he has to attack. And Jim pitches the human replica droid. Probably not relevant. It is a droid. A low-key counter. Jim can't play Iggy D security protocol and then kill a thing with Iggy D because Daniel has no copies of anything in his deck. Zuckuss isn't bad, but none of this does anything. Jim has to attack, I think, this turn. Daniel could... So, okay. How does Jim get as many game points as possible? Because that's the other thing with this. Turns out game points are kind of important. And if Jim wins a game on his light side, which he absolutely can do against Daniel's also... We'll talk about Daniel's dark side deck in a minute. But if it goes light side splits, then these game points, dial to 6, is relevant. That's a really low number for dark side this format. Um, Jim's deck can close out games fast on the light side, which could limit Daniel's
Okay.
dark side victory game points. Rough though. So here's the attack.
Cat fail.
Wow.
Yeah, Navi. Navi and Dice. They'll defend.
Okay, so Jim attacks with Zuckuss. Bail Organa makes a spider, which is what Jim needed. Jim needed to focus out Bail to take the force, but instead of using Bail because he's not elite to defend, Daniel uses a very interesting line of actually playing the spider, which look at me not even considering Bail's money to make the spider this whole game. I'm like, oh yeah, Daniel tapped out, he can't use the spider. He planned to use Bail to defend with the spider the whole time. I don't know if I agree with it, but he can. I think Jim used Jabba's discount, but he has a ton of money anyway.
I got 2.
2 dots to 2 dots. Jim loses the edge battle, and presumably the game.
I'll take an action. Bird, strip your tactics.
Right? Daniel pops Bird, probably for Zuckuss.
Right. Do you have any actions before you strike?
Hold on a second. Hey, talk to me about that edge battle, guys.
I had allies, and I had Curry.
Oh, with Guri. Thank you. Okay, so Jim did with the edge battle because of Guri's objective. Okay, so that's 3-2. Good for Jim. Daniel takes away his tactics icon because, of course, he does. The moment. Okay, card 1, Battle of Endor.
Yep.
Card 3.
Ooh.
Card 3, I will cast.
Flash that card again, Daniel.
You see it alright?
Okay, yeah, that's card 3. Yeah.
Yeah, card 3. I'll
Yeah, that's card 3. That's the one. That's the one Jim's taking, and that's a huge deal because it's only a 1x, and now Jim knows that Daniel doesn't have it. Also, he's giving him 2 garbage cards, 2 basically edge cards for this next turn. A 1-dot and a 2-dot.
Alright.
Gun bomb.
I'll have the Navi
Like, look at how.
strike first.
And here we go. Nabi takes Zuckuss.
Tactics on
Dice.
Dice. Finish it. Oh, I guess you're dead, right?
Yeah.
Tactics on BK.
Yeah, tactics on PK. Gross. And Daniel got to do that because Bale gave him the money, and he even keeps all these units for next turn.
Turn to you.
I find it interesting that Jim didn't go for some sort of
How many cards?
4.
game points mode here. So if Jim held the allies, okay, let's pretend that whole battle happens the same way. Jim edges some different 2-dot card. Then Jim can concede the game essentially, going for game points. Then take Battle Droid, Forlom to journey through the swamp. Allies and the junk dealer wins the edge battle, takes an objective, or gets 4 bombs, takes the objective. That gets Jim to 7 instead of 6. Kind of relevant. Jim. Daniel kept the force, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, Daniel kept the force, pinged Guri. Yeah, like just taking that allies in that edge battle, very strange. Ooh, and Daniel finds the life creates it for Spider Bird. Ooh. And Jim doesn't choose to capture with the bounty board because it doesn't even matter. Daniel needs 1 bomb to win, and he's showing everything. How does Jim not lose right here? It involves threat removal for sure. Can Daniel play that Tantive for? Oh, no, he's gonna play. Daniel takes Sabine. Daniel takes Sabine, gives him probably the drug dealer, the arms dealer.
What's it called? The freelance.
Those are 4 really good cards for Daniel.
Then I'll take
He's-
a
He takes Sabine, right? It's 2 bombs and like all the Sabine tricks.
I think it just has to be
He even has dice.
the Sabine.
Yeah, he takes Sabine. Like taking 10 of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the other option. He has the money for it. But it's the same number of black bombs. Daniel needs 2 black bombs on the table with Tressa and either Sabine or 10 of 4. And then he just walks in and he doesn't lose. Because threat removal is threatening, but I don't think that Jim also showing the heat of battle in that scouting head, which means that he can't like Guri heat of battle. Oh, you know what? Because you can't threat removal and win the edge battle. So if you threat removal Guri arms dealer, that could get rid of Tressa and
Here comes red 5.
oh, more black bombs.
Maybe not red 5.
Is Daniel gonna go even harder and play Sabine? Okay, he's gonna play the card with less dots and try to win an edge battle.
And then
And also because it's Sabine. Hold on, I'm gonna turn up the audio for this.
be an engagement against the bottom objective.
Automated assassin.
Yeah.
There will be an engagement. Where's the fight?
At automated assassin.
Thank you.
He has to declare defenders first.
Okay, so Daniel is, as he does, playing this very conservatively. I just throw bombs at Guri, but
Alright.
Daniel is attacking automated assassin before making
Make
spiders.
some spiders.
My friend, no sir. There's no window between with dice. There's no window between defenders and attackers there, I believe.
I thought you get an action window after declaring of each.
I don't believe so. Let me look up Dice's text real quick. I'm pretty sure there's no window there. Pulling up my cards real quick. Jedi. Looking for dice. Come on, photos. Do the photos thing. Can you read dice to me?
It just says when you would declare an engagement, target an enemy objective instead. Your opponent must declare defenders first if desired. You must then declare at least one attacking unit if able and engage the targeted objective.
Right. So that means in that interrupt, you must then declare. It's all happening nested in that one interrupt.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So there is no, and that's one of the weird things about dice, both ruling wise and like he's a tricky card because you don't get to have an action window, in that moment. So I will, Battle Droid has been declared defender. Daniel, you get to declare
That's fine.
attackers.
To be honest, like if you were going to declare the spiders at the beginning of the turn anyway, that's all right.
It doesn't drastically change things. I could just declare the spiders on the next attack.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see here. He's blocking. I'll send.
Oh boy, photos is not being friendly right now. But interesting ruling. Dice. One of Dice's strengths is that he takes away this action window
as a attacker.
economy. Hedging these action windows is very relevant to these games, and
To edge, I will pass edge.
so yeah, he defends with Bale, which is his double tactics
So
unit.
Tressa gives you the edge too, even if she's not in the engagement.
No. I mean, I only have 2 guys committed anyway, so like she's off.
Wait, hold on.
So Tressa's like wall.
He didn't say to edge. He's like, let's go to the edge battle.
Oh, I thought you said you had 2 edge, and I was like,
Got you guys.
Tressa have to be in the engagement. Okay, yeah. So, all right, edge battle.
I'm popping on and off my mute so that they can hear me.
Pass.
Okay. So you have any actions before you strike?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a extra gun.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna put 3 guns into Fail.
I'll take an action before you strike.
Okay.
I'm going to focus bail, make a spider.
Okay.
Daniel,
He's dead.
Daniel being a little bit loose on his action declarations, but it's all legit, especially at this point in the game.
Pay 1, make this spider.
So Daniel makes a spider on
These
bail
boys
before he
are gonna
dies.
go at Jabba's objective.
Makes other spider, and also being conservative with it. Like Daniel doesn't need to do some nonsense attack into Jabba. Jim only has I think 3 units. He might have that 4th. He probably has that influence money dude up as well. But like he used his big play. Daniel's still holding 5 cards. His turn was Scouting Head Sabine, Here I Come. Jim is probably holding a couple cards too, but like, ugh, doesn't look good. So, what were we saying? Jim could have gotten dialed to 7 if he was. Well, the other problem with that is.
Forlom and one of the Twi'leks. That leaves you with 1 blocker back.
Yep.
Is your resource tapped or not?
No. The bounty listing? No.
No. The dude.
Oh, my underworld? Yeah, he's tapped.
Okay. Yeah, Jim. Okay, so Jim's
done
resource is tapped. So it's just the Twi'lek against the world.
Trujillo and Sabine.
Doesn't even bring dice. You gotta bring dice.
Need those 2 at the middle.
Okay, so here's Jim's play. Threat removal, Guri.
Sure. I'm going to play Alliance of Evil.
Okay, Alliance of Evil.
I'm going to give the Twi'lek a shield and
shielding.
Anyone else a edge.
Sure.
Twi'lek defends and gets you an extra health on the objective. That's really big.
Shield the objective.
Guri threat removal, even with the Vibro Knife here, is a big deal. Daniel's gonna not edge so that he loses edge.
Tactics and edge 1.
Okay. That's actually a huge deal.
So edge battle.
Daniel gives Sabine edge, which is a thing that can't be messed with by behind the Lexon.
5.
One of the things about flopping Guri's objective is that you always either activate Guri or win the edge battle. You can't. You either win on defense or you lose by 2. So, one way to get around that is having edge 1, which Sabine enables. So Jim has to actually meet with edge cards now.
Let's say 1 in.
Okay, now Jim should pass. Jim needs to have threat removal, Guri. Jim needs to have Guri's whole pod in his hand, which he has not used those resources yet.
2 in.
Pass.
Come on, Jim, let's see it. And also that shield from the Twi'lek might be relevant.
Let me just peek.
Sabine has a tactics now and a gun. That Twi'lek is not going to live through this fight. What else could Jim have? Jim could have a twist. Is Jim trying? Like Jim doesn't even want to win the edge battle here.
3 cards.
Pass.
Jim could be twisting.
Do you have a twist?
Yeah.
Okay. Jim twists. For
engagement, pass with edge 1.
1 card.
Here's a card.
1.
Pass.
Cards behind.
Jim's still holding that Jabba that he accidentally flashed. Jim has 2 left. Ugh.
1's good. Alright. I got a friendship is magic.
Friendship is magic.
I got a freelance assassin.
So is Jim going to win or lose the edge battle?
I'm going to bump you up.
Okay. What do you got?
I got a threat removal.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on.
I guess I do have to.
Yeah. Declare friendship is magic first. Very relevant. Daniel hasn't actually won the edge battle yet. The allies has to happen first.
Saw. Get the bomb. And Sabine get the gun.
Yeah. I'll send Tra back to your hand.
So Trasa goes back to hand, and this is important because Jim actually paid because the first event he played this turn was Jabba's, the free one.
Okay. So
Sabine
you
just strikes?
for a gun.
Actually, you strike.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I just strike for 2 bombs, and that's game.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, good game. Good game, friends. Dial is at 6.
Dial at 6. Yeah.
Commentating that game was a trip, I gotta tell you. I'm not going to make any comments because it could be relevant for other games. But, good game 1.
Oh no, I have you now.
Guys are going to roll right into game 2, yeah?
Yeah.
Very good. All right, so
Nice game. Nice game.
GG.
I'm gonna leave their audio on in case they've got any banter, but I don't think they will. Let's talk about the other matchup. Okay. Whew, that was wild, especially considering Daniel's just nonsense list.
You had an allies. Did you have an allies in that first edge battle?
No.
I don't know why I edged the twist first. I should have
So,
it. I should
well, my
have just.
thought was I need to either win edge or get the extra bomb. Because I could still lose edge. That's like very much conceivable. So, my thinking was I'll put a lot of edge pips in the first edge battle because I had fake cards, but like they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then in the second edge battle, I could throw the friendship.
I don't know. Once I put the twist in, I was like, wait, I didn't want to do that.
I mean, it worked. You got a bunch of cards out. The what's it called? I gotta remember that spiders thing. That just remember like, hey, making spiders then declare attackers because the bail was supposed to be used on the following attack to make it so I wouldn't even need edge for for the final one. So then I was like, okay, well, I can still thin out the herd because then I think your outs are very limited in terms of being able to stop Sabine plus Trujillo.
Yeah,
like one threat
thanks.
Doesn't get you.
Thanks for letting me make those weird rulings. There were a lot of weird rulings in that match.
The blaster. Sorry about that blaster pistol. And then like.
And the containment field. I'd never tried to contain a bird.
And as you can see, there is no way I cheated on the hand that I took back from. I put it to the deck.
Yeah, I was kind of angling when I would attack, but I just kept like I had units. And then I was like, if he just doesn't draw a unit here, and then you just have a turn where you're like, I play 2 derps and pass. Like, okay, well, that makes this easy. I'll just wait.
Yeah,
at some point.
Those were not the cards. The 1 pip cards were not what I wanted to see, but it was what it was. Hey, nice game. Really nice game.
All right. So let's look at these other lists while we set up. Jim's list. I know this well. I can talk about it. It is the Hoth core, but we don't think we need Frozen Refuge. Instead, we're running Alderaan's Promise. Or I'm sorry, Jim's running Alderaan's Promise. This was, I think, my recommendation to start. Over things like Mothma or Biggs, because it lets you actually hold the Force and gives you kind of a slow mode. It gives you 3 guys with 3 dots, and then Alderaan bails money in this deck instead of using it for Sabine or Spiders, goes for Durlin's event to actually make your guys again. Jim's going to attack hard and fast. He's going to try to have things now, and hopefully win before things happen too much. Before Daniel's board gets too big. Also, the 5 Wilderness Fighters gives you a lot of black guns, considering the light side's relative lack of guns. Excuse me. Jim wants to see at least 1 Hoth on the flop. 2 is preferable, and 3 is really good. Having a Hoth, turning on the Hoth Scout, Durlin's Edge, and the guns for the Wilderness Fighters is a real thing. But otherwise, Jim is going to have a ton of edge by drawing extra cards, by having... I think there's 14 3-dot cards in that deck. I love it. And then Akbar gives you these tricks to actually get the edge on things. Get that 3rd gun with Akbar's dropping in. Get the edge on vehicle decks. But let's look at Daniel's deck. 1 Force Storm and a Trip 0 complements a very standard scum package. Double Gurry. So 2 heats, 3 heats with Vader's army. And Jim does find the triple Hoth. I think this is one of the best flops for Jim. He gets $3 on Inhospitable every turn. Assuming you can play those guys, but like that means you can play Durlin in a 3-drop. And he also gets to double APD.
My pink dice are going to be
Uh, Pink dice are APD. Very nice. Classy from Jim. Daniel's deck, so Scouring the Empire, the 1/4 Storm is actually a really big problem for Jim. Most of Jim's deck has 2 health. I think Bale and notably everything in APD, everything in Akbar's pod, including Akbar himself, and all the Wilderness Fighters. Like those 5 Wilderness Fighters dying to 4 Storm is really rough for Jim. But the idea is that Jim can either defend things by using the Fleet Command Center from Akbar.
I have the force, right? Yeah. I'll ping Guri's objective.
Hold on.
Okay. I'm going
Hey,
to...
just to clarify, that was a draw pass from Daniel?
Yeah.
With the money?
What?
Did you mulligan, Daniel?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Can I do my
Okay.
APDs at the end of the turn?
So yeah, Daniel has a really bad start. It is Droid Factory, pass. Takes damage from the Force, but I got a suspicion that Daniel's about to drop in a BT, or have a Hospitality, or there's got to be something that Daniel can play, but in reaction to Jim doing something, and apparently it's worth taking the damage on the objective for. Turns out Daniel has a bad hand. No Jabba turn 1. But he did have a good flop. So he found the Knight. He found, like, what does Daniel not want to flop? Like, BK is worse here, I guess? Whatever. Having High Exaltedness is so good. But I will say that Jim's deck is pretty resilient to Hospitality, which is one of the things that's kind of nice about it. There's... the Echo Scout gets nailed. Luke doesn't. None of the ships do. None of the leaders do. You have to death mark them. So Hospitality is kind of not great in this matchup. And attacking into this deck is also kind of scary with things like BK. If you lose the edge battle, then Durlin will strike back. Okay. Here's the 3-gun Wilderness Fighter. This is a huge unit. That is 5 icons for 2 cost. And with this, like, if Jim flops 2... Okay, Jim has a very good opening hand. He has 2 units and a free unit. And he could have more free units with APD. So Jim is, I think, being wary of what does Daniel have. Things like Guri, if Jim chooses to edge, which he probably won't if it's unopposed.
I'm going to send my X-Wing escort in...
Interesting.
I'm going to send a Wilderness Fighter.
Yeah, Jim is going to split his damage to...
Guri's objective?
Okay. Anything in edge?
Fighter to Guri.
Nope.
Okay.
No edge. Yeah, does the thing. Bomb unopposed. Daniel not playing a BT.
Sure.
Makes APD... Oh, Jim, we thought Daniel had a high roll. We're getting light side splits today. Did Jim know about that? I don't think Jim knew about that.
To go in against the middle objective.
Okay. Anything in edge?
So yeah, Jim is going to spread out all of his bombs, because the unopposed is more valuable than anything. And just like Daniel was able to put pressure on ending the game faster, by having just doing damage early on, Jim is also going to do this and have a defender. He made 4 units on $4. 2 of them were free. He might even get more off of APD. There's, I think, 10 hits in that deck. Oh,
7 of dollars.
Man, that is a disgusting turn for Jim. The only way that Daniel comes back right now is Force Storm, because Force Storm resets Jim, and it's a sad Force Storm. It would have to be... I actually want to see the commit here out of Jim to prevent, like, here's my Aqualish arms dealer or something commit. Here's my Chud commit for Force Storm. What What is Daniel doing with all of his money? Just nothing? Is it hospitality? Is it like he just drew bad cards clearly?
Uh,
But to see that
no.
him actually play no units,
Pass turn to you.
Okay.
I'll keep the force with the.
and Daniel makes no plays.
I'll discard a blaster pistol and draw 2.
Discards an enhancement. He just drew a really bad hand off the mulligan. And Jim, I don't think Jim drew the god hand, but he definitely drew the tools to capitalize. Like, it's not unexpected to draw 2 wilderness fighters. There are 5 in the deck. Getting the APD hits is a big deal, though. Now he has like a pseudo defender, and I want to see Jim have committed that X-wing right there. We don't expect Daniel to attack, or if he does, then like the X-wing defending doesn't really. It only gets in the way for edge purposes. And Daniel focuses his Sith money, which is a huge tell. Like, even if Daniel redoes his money, like, oh no, actually I want to pay this way, then actually having committed his Sith money means that he's not thinking about the Force Storm, he's not staring at it in his hand, he wasn't crafting his turn around it. Jim might win this game right here. Yeah, you see? So, Daniel's going to redo his money, but I'm pretty sure he's not holding the BT or the Force Storm.
Throw a death mark on one of the wilderness fighters, doesn't matter.
Okay, here's the death mark. Maybe he's holding the hospitality from turn 1. That's real. That's possible.
Go to force.
Ugh.
Let's commit.
I don't know.
And your go.
I don't know.
How much up money do you have?
I got 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 if I double tap.
Yeah. Daniel has to threaten the... See, this is also why I wanted to see the X-Wing get committed. It forces Daniel to double commit if he plays only Chuds, and Daniel, no way he has the Force Storm. If he has the Force Storm, then he was playing all of us by like focusing out the Sith and then replaying it on the other one. Yeah, Daniel has no Force Storm, or he's playing like his life depends on it, pulling every dirty trick in the book, which is super legit. Jim not using APD, or maybe he did and just maybe his board's big enough. I don't know. APD is super consistent in this list too. There are 10 APD targets, which is great, but also he has double Trust in the Force, or use the Force Luke to check the top deck, and the Echo Scouts.
3.
Paying 3 for Bail. Ooh, red 5. Playing more bombs, because Daniel is not threatening him at all. And let's also note that this red 5 has 3 health, which I forgot to mention. Ooh, and the R2-D2 going to shield a friend. Could Jim win right here? Okay, if Daniel has no tricks, Jim wins. Daniel almost certainly has a Gurry trick, because he has 2 Gurries, or a heat, because he has 3 heats.
Red 5 is going to go in against
Interesting.
DOS's objective.
Okay, so red 5 to the middle. I like this attack from Jim. It is, I think going to Jabba's. So the question here is, you have 2 black bombs on red 5. How do you want to use them? How do you want to pressure Daniel? On the 4 damage objective seems like a waste. On the 3 damage objective means I'm not getting unopposed. On the 2 damage objective means I'm going to get unopposed.
Doesn't matter which way necessarily. Kind of matters, I guess.
So he goes for the 2 damage objective, expecting to get unopposed, and I think that going for Jabba's is a little bit less greedy. Also, you could have done this thing where red 5 attacks with the Wilderness Fighters and gives the shield to the Wilderness Fighters. That's a real play. It is nice to see Daniel Jim attacking with red 5 first to threaten this 4-bomb unstoppable unit. And shielding it means that you really can't get Gurried, you can't get threat removed. Daniel's almost certainly going to hospitality that fighter in the back. But that shield, meaning Daniel isn't going to lose the objective, means he gets to float the $2 plus the objective in the Chud, but mostly the $2 to play the very relevant.
Your dude will be tapped though.
The very relevant Force Storm, or the BT could come down. Hospitality has to hit this unit right here, right? What else could Daniel be holding?
Objective.
Sure.
Okay, Wilderness Fighter to Jabba's objective, and the one with the death mark.
No defense.
Jim?
Anything in edge?
No way.
Okay.
No defense, nothing in edge.
Hospitality.
There's the hospitality, which I think was a very strange attack from Jim. Yeah, you see he's kind of upset about this. He really wanted to take that objective out, especially before the hospitality came down. So I think that's a huge misplay from Jim, I think.
The other wilderness.
So this one, now Daniel's actually out of money. This one guarantees to take the Guri objective.
Guri's objective.
But what a waste of the bomb or the attack from Rogue Leader.
No bomb.
Yeah, I think Jim really messed up his sequencing this round. And now Daniel even gets the hospitality back. Like, Jim could have really pressured the hospitality play by attacking that way first. Like, just go in and take the objective first. Either Daniel has to take back Alliance of Evil, which is not great, or play hospitality soon, which means you don't lose that attack. He's going to take Alliance, isn't he? Because hospitality is really bad, especially with one death mark being gone. And Jim misses on APD. Okay.
I'm going to go to the force phase.
Okay, so you know what Jim does get? Jim is going to get the force back. With, please commit the X-Wing. He was supposed to be committed last turn. Okay, I like this play. Commit the Wilderness Fighter. Make sure that you don't get wrecked or swept by... okay. So, committing the Wilderness Fighter...
Do you have the force right now, or do I have the force?
I have the force.
I'm going to put my Rogue Leader on the force as well and take force.
Daniel has the force. Dial to 3. But Jim takes it back. He commits Rogue Leader instead of the unit with the gun. I have no idea why Jim is so reluctant to commit that X-Wing. That thing is a free dot that he got on APD. He should be using it as such. And Daniel's only at 3 on the dial. Jim could have closed the game out there with smarter attacks, I think. I think the game could be over, or at least he could have 2 objectives. Daniel could have had one less card in his hand, because I think High Exaltedness is once per turn. I might be wrong about that. I think Jim could have put on better pressure there, and he also did not need to commit Red 5. What is he? I think he's afraid of, like, because Daniel can't play a unit with targeted strike and Force Storm. Okay, it could play Joss. He can go Joss Force Storm because specifically because he flopped the other Hunter in the night. That lets him do both of those things. Joss Force Storm.
Jabba.
Okay, here's Jabba. Jabba's good. Daniel focusing out his red money again, leaving up $4 green on a Jabba turn. What is he expecting to play with $4 green? Is he also going to put BK on the table? So the reason to commit red 5 is if Daniel attacks red 5 for 2 damage and takes the force and plays Force Storm before the R2D2 can get the shield. I think that unless Jim is trying to defend another turn, that is a very bad play to commit that unit. Luckily, Daniel is not playing Zuckuss, so there is no springing the ambush.
Arms dealer.
Committing the Wilderness Fighter is questionable because he only gives you 1 dot on the force if you have to do a force fight.
Force. Jabba,
so,
and here go.
Daniel goes play Jabba, play Arms Dealer. And his defense is going to be Jabba with a gun to take out 3 units, despite Jim's shield. That red 5 shield on red 5 is going to be very scary. And Jim is going to have Jabba now. That is my prediction. Dial's at 3. Jim has Jabba now, and the game ends. Daniel has 4 cards in hand, which is a good edge hand. Almost certainly has Guri or a Jabba trick. We know he picked up a card from Jabba's objective going down, and he'll pick up another one when he loses an objective. So I've talked to Jim a lot about this deck. You have to attack, you have to put pressure, you have to be playing on tempo. If Jim does any sort of turn here that doesn't involve attacking, yeah, okay. Durlin is the best play he can make here because it threatens the I have you now. It threatens just winning the game. Here I come, I'm going to end the game. Threat removal and Guri are real things. Let me pull up that thread that we were talking about, the Guri ruling, because it's very relevant here. To recap, let me just read this. We have Tyler's approval on this, which is the best ruling we could get. Jim was probably thinking about exactly this moment when he was prepping for this game, I gotta say. Wow. We either talk a lot or this happened a while ago.
One for X1.
Threat removal. Here it is. Okay. Having now is a delayed effect that resolves as soon as possible after a triggering condition. Threat removal is a reaction and thus is triggered during a reaction window. They would resolve in that order if all were to happen in the same edge battle. So, this means if Jim has I have you now and wins the edge battle, that means Jabba will get die to the he will die to the I have you now trigger before the reaction window appears for threat removal to hit. And that means Jabba can't be around to reduce the cost of threat removal. Hypothetically, he could not defend with Jabba and get threat removal on Durlin, which is fine. X-Wing is so good. Costs 1 and has 2 health. Gun Bomb. Very good card. Even has a dot. So much better than a TIE Fighter. So yeah. I don't know if Daniel knows the ruling, but I have the reference material, like, ready to go. Yeah, you have to defend with Jabba here. Where is this attack, guys?
Hunters in the Night.
Which one?
Hunters in the Night.
Which one? Which one, though?
Middle.
Middle, cool.
No, oh, I'm sorry. I was attacking the top one. Oh, you have 2 Hunters in the Night. I was attacking the top one.
Okay, yeah, Hunters in the Night. Thank you, guys. This attack is at Hunters in the Night at the top. The undamaged one, Jim is threatening the white tactics into Jabba.
One card in.
So, Jim has...
Okay, no, you got it.
Yep, and there it is. And Daniel just scoops it up because he knows about it.
Like I was nervous, like,
Cool game.
was your opening hand that bad twice?
Yeah, I had no creatures. So...
What? Daniel, I was convinced that you had a BT
I was
or
at PT.
or something. What was your opening hand, Daniel? Can you like flash your opening hand to us?
Oh, it was... What was it? It was really bad. It was like...
Clearly.
all... Let me see here. I think it was that...
Mm-hmm.
I think I had a resource.
Yeah, you had that money.
Yeah, you had the resource.
That was so...
Oh.
I think I drew into one of the events.
You pitched the red objective. Yeah.
And then it was
The red
like,
event.
Pitched the event, and then the second pitch was the blaster pistol.
Rough. Anyway,
Well, Colby,
good
Colby,
game.
This is 2 games of Colby redemption.
This is an interesting
side.
thing to cast. Dials
Light
at
side
3.
Twice.
Dials at 3. Scum going down. And I don't know if you noticed, Jim, but I had the Tyler thread opened up, ready to make the ruling.
Really?
On the I have you now Jabba.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was my question.
Daniel, are you aware of this ruling?
What?
So, if in that moment, if you tried to play threat removal, Jabba's dead already. He can't reduce the cost of threat removal. He dies too quickly.
Right.
Do I have you now?
Reaction. So.
Yeah, and like Jim asked this question actually a week ago, and we had a big discussion, and Tyler ruled it. So
Yeah, just like yeah, I was like looking. I'm like, okay, well, I could just threat removal, and then leave it at that. But
But then
again, Kaba
I need
defense
even
is the
more.
only way I can win.
and
So
that match was a stomp. Like no question, you dead Drew. That was rough. But Jim, you got to go back and watch that game. I have a lot of things to say about that. I'm saying a lot of things. This is a good series.
What, that I was too tentative?
I think you sequenced your attacks in a way that I didn't agree with, but
Oh,
I
when I attacked with the Deathmark guy, that was bad.
whatever.
yeah, I was given like a little bit of a life raft turn two. I was like, okay, well, maybe if I draw the pieces, I can
I
get
think
something for
I
them
think
here.
there's a world, Jim, where you would end the game on that turn, and I explode, and I just and I go
If I
nuts.
I think if I attack with the non-enhanced, I wasn't even thinking about Hut's hospitality
Hmm.
on that. Half of me was just thinking like, if he's going to burn the Hut's hospitality on that, then
All right, good game. Go into game three. All right, we keep rolling.
all right.
Hey, just give me a heads up, you guys. Are we planning on just doing this series however long it takes?
That was my plan.
All right, I'm here.
I mean, the first two games didn't really take that long, so
It's been an hour and 10.
Yeah, the first game it only was dial at 6, but the game didn't take a lot of turns, but it did take a long time to actually complete.
All right, cool. Let's keep rolling. And we continue to game three. Everything's good about my streaming rig. Not streaming, I'm just recording. Posted later. Yeah. Oh, for anyone who tried to watch my Star Wars radio of the finals last time, that was because my old computer crapped out. Since then, I've got a new computer. Very nice. Very powerful to just make a video, please. It does that now. Does it very well. Does a lot of good things. I'm so happy with my new computer. I'm happy that I figured out my streaming setup and my recording setup so that we could actually do this thing correctly this time. But here we are. We're in game three. Back to what is clearly the more interesting and entertaining matchup because Daniel's playing his nonsense deck and Jim is playing his also, I think, very good deck. Am I biased towards one of these people winning? I want Jim to win more, but I need either of them to prove it. Like I don't. No one's allowed to win unless they play well. Especially not under my watch. I Jim has been my pick for a while. Jim is one of my great friends in New York. I have dinner with his family sometimes. Well, back in the day when I lived in Brooklyn. And he has grown to be one of the strongest card players I've played. He plays so well. And he's been thinking about this matchup for a week now, and he's actually been preparing for these things.
There's a recruitment.
And Daniel is also one of my most respected card players because he's Kiramode. We have a podcast together. We do all this stuff, and Daniel is this monster deck.
Two journeys.
I'm sorry.
I'm debating if I rip one or two. Definitely rip one.
Yeah, Daniel builds the craziest decks and has the craziest strategies, but his play is not always as tight as I want it to be. I always can find something to nitpick about his play, but his play has been fine these games. I haven't found any major. If anything, Jim has made a couple of minor misplays, strategy-wise. So, Daniel here choosing to only grab one Jubbabird on the flop. Probably has Sabine in hand. Probably has Bale, Durlin. Probably not Durlin. Durlin's a bad turn one play. But I find it interesting that Daniel, one, only takes one bird, and two, doesn't take a spider. Clearly the Jubbabird is stronger in this matchup, but
Freelance hunter.
I mostly know people to take a spider on turn one with Journey in the Swamp. I wonder if it's a matchup thing that Daniel says, okay, Jubbabird is so good in the Scum matchup, I should take it. Or if he says, he doesn't feel like he needs the spider, feels like he should draw into it instead. I don't like drawing into spiders, they have no dots. There's the turn one Sabine. Does he attack? Certainly not, right?
Go to conflict.
Takes the force of Jubbabird.
Cards in
Daniel sees Sabine as an early game resource engine. She is just a $1 thing that hopefully doesn't die for a little while. Jim does have double knight out. I really would like to see a Joss play. If Jim drops Joss, he's only
Bird,
like
horse.
he's only about to take one gun from Sabine on a Lost Edge battle, and he'll take the jump bird off the table. What else would I want to see Jim play? Like Joss gun is really good. Pitches allies, interesting play. Means he probably doesn't have the Joss, because like Joss bounty hunter with allies seems like a great attack. Sabine can't do any nonsense well equipped to give her an icon things. Yeah, and Jim even has the unsavory contract, so he can attack with Joss. Duffel mercenary is a mercenary, right? It's in the name. Character mercenary knight, yeah. So Jim could do some sort of aggressive attack here, because that's what Scum wants to do. Master of Night for third gun on Defil. That's really good. Ooh, okay, so last game Jim had to land his Master of Night on a droid, just to get it out of his hand. That was a rough thing. Oh, and Jim gets the payout for Jabba? Show me the Jabba. Oh my god. Payout, Zuckuss. Jim has often said that Zuckuss is his MVP pod. Really, all 5 of those cards, maybe not the Forlom, but even Forlom's a droid, all 5 of those cards are just, they win him games. Springing the Ambush is nuts. Containment Field lets him play Force games, but Jabba Bird shuts all of this down, weirdly. But the payout for the turn 2 Jabba after going 5 money on turn 1, huge. One of the things I'm actually really excited about to see in this card pool. Interesting ways to find money. One of the reasons that Scum is so good is that Jabba gives you an obscene amount of money. He gives you 2 money on each player's turn, which is gross. But payout was another thing I wanted to kind of like, is this a real card? Turns out when you play it on turn 2, after double focusing a thing, he got the Master of Night as a bonus. Gets Jabba out. So good. So, one thing that Jim did have to sacrifice is the Master of Night had to land on the Devil and not the Jabba. But I think that's kind of fine. If Jim were to defend with both units and defend, the Jabba Bird can either take away double tactics from Jabba or take away all of the icons from the Devil. You strip the tactics and then all of his guns go away because he can't gain icons. But Jim has 2 units that can take out 2 units at a time. And this is a very big difference from last game where he had to struggle to find 1, which would always be vulnerable. Daniel, doing another ramp turn. Daniel's super happy to just use Sabine as a money, and actually takes the Force on Luke, which is a cool thing about his deck. He's got Alderaan and Running the Trench, giving him 2 3-dot units each to actually play some Force games. Also pitching some extra cards. Very different game from last time. Dials at 3. Force is light, yeah?
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you. Cool. Force is light, and I don't know. If Jim doesn't... Okay, let's take stock. I think Jim is ahead. I think Jim has Jabba Defil, which is huge, but he's not putting any pressure on Daniel, which is a thing he likes to do but doesn't need to do in all of his games.
3 for Iggy D.
Iggy D for 3. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. Jim is ahead. Jim is absolutely winning this game right now, long term, because he has 3 incredible units out that all can hit 2 units at a time, doing 3 damage and killing a thing. Iggy D needs to find a friend. Probably a arms dealer or an allies, which would be nice. But Daniel has 5 on the Force. If he finds a 3-dot unit, then Jim has to attack soon. Seems like Daniel's strongest play is Bale Spider, or even just Alderaan Artist Spider. No, Alderaan Artist is just a good card. Daniel's biggest plays here involve Size Matters Not. Daniel can Daniel doesn't need to kill all of Jim's units. He's not going to, unless he has I Have You Now, which takes out Jabba, I guess. It's still kind of hard. Jim doesn't have Guri objective, but it's still kind of hard to kill Jim's units. But oh,
My Defel mercenary
Defil's going
gonna
in
go in against
because okay, Defil doesn't feel afraid because Daniel is showing no money.
Desert.
And oh, Luke, if he wants to defend, is committed. So Jim is recognizing that he either kills the Jabba, double focuses Sabine, or double focuses Luke.
No.
And he wants to take the Force without committing Iggy D, maybe?
Where's your tactics going?
The tactics.
And also Jim is doing this thing that he needs to do in this matchup, and also that he knows how to do in this game with his deck, which is put bombs on Daniel's objectives. He doesn't have time to wait till dial to 12. He hardly has time to wait till dial to 11. So he knows he has to actually pressure Daniel's objectives now. Watch him attack with the Bounty Hunter. He's going to do it.
Cards in it? 4.
No? He just doesn't want to commit Iggy D? Is that where we are? No, he's attacking with the Bounty Hunter. There we go. That's what Jim does. Because this either double focuses the Jabba Bird, or
Objective.
hold on one.
No block. Anything in edge?
Let me go to their audio for a second. I have to make a quick phone call.
Yeah, I'm gonna edge a card.
Sure. What do you got?
Well equipped.
Sure.
Bomb unopposed.
Yep.
All right, I'm back. So Jim is having his cake and he's eating it. Jim does the play where he well equips his Defil, because when you have a well equipped in hand and you can get 3 attacks off, he's going to get some free bombs, he's going to get some free stuff, he's going to get some free tactics, probably on... I want to see the tactics land on Sabine and not Luke. But he could double focus the Luke to hold the Force for longer. Not terrible. But Jim understands that that bomb unopposed on the middle objective is huge for his long-term game plan.
Where's your tactics going?
The tactics is going to go on to... Tactics is going to go on to Luke.
Yeah, okay. So Jim focuses Luke to hold the Force for longer. And also... See, Daniel is happy to ramp on Sabine, but now that Jim actually has 3 monster units on the table, Jim can attack a little bit more. Jim can hold the Force. Oh, and he also makes the Defil again. This might be a little greedy. I don't know if this Defil play is necessary, but it's definitely a strong play that doesn't have much. Like, the downside here is that Daniel's deck is full of a lot of... Okay, interesting. Daniel's deck is full of a lot of 2-gun units, like Luke, like Trujillo, like Dice, that can actually hit the Defil now if it gets shot for 2 guns. But now, Jim was trying to buy an extra turn. He bought the gun, so Jim is like not super upset with this play. And honestly, he's probably happy that the size matters not went to clearing up the Luke instead of clearing off one of his objectives. Dice is a good play. See, Dice is here, Spider's here, and Sabine is here. So Daniel finally has all of his toys on the table, and if Daniel attacks here, I think Jim loses something. I think Jim tries to defend with all 3 or 2 of 3. It's really weird, and then Daniel defends in a way that Daniel then attacks in a way that either he doesn't lose a unit, or like if the second attack comes in, or the Jabba loses his tactics and then the Defil doesn't do anything. Daniel having the dice on the table with the Sabine and the Spider gives them a lot of options now. And Jim was hoping to hold the force for an extra turn, especially because his freelance. Especially because his freelance. Okay, he commits the Sabine instead of the dice, going to 7 because Jim can't get over it with the freelance anyway, with the freelance on the force. Daniel has suddenly. He's not pulled ahead. Daniel's not ahead now. Don't get me wrong here. But Jim now has to attack into a very unfavorable board. And if he defends, then Jim will lose something. And if Daniel has I have you now, if Daniel has some sort of size matters not that Jim isn't expecting, he already used one well equipped by pitching it, and used one of those size matters not to free up Luke. Good use of size matters not because he took the force with the Luke and the Jubbird, which Jim was not happy about. Took it in a way that he can hold it. But if Jim really wanted to keep the force instead of just kind of take it for a little bit, he would have committed the Iggy D, who is elite. I don't know why he's not committed. So that he would have the 6 to what would be Daniel's max of 5 with Luke committed. But the size matters not, yeah. Like, I'm sure that he's not super happy about it. I'm sure that Daniel's not super happy about having to use size matters not there, but it is an optimal play of that card. Jabba gets Blaster Pistol. There it is. There's the containment field. See, this is the second time this game that this is the second time this game that Zux's pod is really coming through for Jim. Taking away Luke's dot, but not as committal, means that Jim can actually commit Iggy D now and just have more on the force. Even if Daniel sacks the Jubbabird. So this is why Jim loves Zux's pod. It lets him do this force thing that Daniel was in the lead. Daniel was taking away the force from Jim, forcing him to attack into him, making him sad. But now, the containment field... the containment field wrecks Luke. But Tressa's a gift from the past.
When did you did that at the
Brad Elam.
After you say no more conflicts.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah. So
Incredible.
therefore not be putting
Incredible. So Daniel responds to the containment field on Luke.
Let's ping the
With the gift from the past to commit dice instead. Instead. So now Jim can't get over the 8. That's incredible. And now Luke is enhanced, which means that he can be well equipped if Daniel finds the other one. If Daniel pulls off a well equipped on Luke with the containment field as his enhancement, I will lose my mind.
Cards in hand?
3 cards.
What a play. And Daniel's on the board. Daniel is on the board now. He has the damage. Dial's at 4. And Jim, notably, isn't killing anything of Daniel's. I don't think he's killed a unit yet. Which is a thing that Scum has become very good at in this metagame. And one of the reasons why people say, wow, everyone's running Scum. They have Hut's Hospitality to kill things. They have Jabba. They have Joss. They have BK. All of these things kill units and prevent the light side from getting to a sustainable board state. Daniel's done that, and Dial's only at 4. Jim hasn't been able to hold the force. Jim's tricks haven't been working. Jim needs to spring the ambush or something. Because now Daniel is... This is the turn where Daniel is ahead. He wasn't going to be ahead if he didn't have the force. Explosives on... See, this is another reason why that damage on the Devil is super relevant. Now that explosives means that, if he finds the second explosive, then the Devil is actually dead. Unless he uses the Master of Night. Second Jabba is much less relevant, but it is important. Putting 2 birds on the table means you can sack one and commit the other. Or just sack the uncommitted one.
Paint Sabine.
Paint Sabine is a big play. Paint committed Sabine, but paint Sabine. Daniel's using Tressa's pod so well as a 1x. The mysteries from the past there was huge. Actually getting to keep the force. The Lost Masters are bombs, which and also like ways to carry uh, well equipped because he did that game one. Ways to hold the force, ways to turn on Trujillo, and the echoes means that Sabine might not be committed forever. Seems pretty good. But will Daniel attack? He's played 3 cards here. And I don't know if he can win the edge battle. Okay. Puts the paint job on dice, which I think I like a little better. Giving him 2 tactics is kind of real. Conflict force. So Jim, now that you're out of tricks, you're out of your containment field trick. I think he needs to find Deathmark kill dice. Deathmark kill Sabine. If Jim has a Deathmark trick, who does he kill? I think the answer is Dice. Dice is actually terrifying, just kind of hanging out. One of the scariest things about Dice is you can't turn off his effectiveness by focusing him out. Same with Sabine. Like, his threat is not the guns he's going to shoot you with or his icons he's going to get you with. It's his words, which just kind of work. He doesn't even need to be in the conflict. He just needs to be on the table. And having him as a one-of is probably just fine. What is Daniel waiting for? Is he waiting for the force to tick a little higher? For the dat damage to accumulate? Is he waiting for the other size matters nod or an edge hand? Here's a sycophant. Like, Daniel has the units. Jim's wall is pretty high. Jim. Now he's got the threat removal card, which can't take out most of Daniel's units. The paint job and the containment field actually a big deal. Like, I was excited for containment field Luke to get well equipped. Now it turns out just containment field Luke can't get threat removaled, and Daniel's super okay with that. Huh. What to do? Is Jim okay? Like, I really don't like Jim not holding the force because the damage is incidental, but it means that Daniel gets to have twice as many turns to play the game, and the dial ticks up slowly, which means that Daniel gets to refresh twice as many times and gets his board of no 2x's. So Jim has a lot of 2x's, three of them, which means that his board can only be so diverse. Daniel having only 2x's means that he has all these different threats that could potentially hit the table. One interesting thing is that Dice having the custom paint job means it's a little harder to have yellow money. Oh, he has the necessary alliances from Dice. He's fine. He can play Hidden Groves. That's a way for Daniel to get ahead. I'd be happy to see the Hidden Groves coming out, letting Daniel filter through more cards, having a bigger edge hand for when he does have to attack. And when he does, there's going to be an I Have You now. And it's going to come up against Jim's Twist. And that is going to be a who's got the better card, or who can play this game better. That's one of the reasons I wanted to get rid of Twist. It's like, you have it or you don't. You put it in the next one. Did you put it in? Did you put in a dud? I think late development. Oh, this is time for Colby's hot takes. Late development, which is Mick's version of Twist in his M cycle, which is everything Twist does, but it does it at Fate 99, so all the Fates get to resolve, is so much healthier for the game. Twist should be about winning edge battles, not canceling edge effects. Rant over. Point of that is that this match might come down to I Have You Now versus Twist. Both 1x's in each deck. Both very relevant. Here's a good card. Master of Night on Jabba, in addition to the Master Knight on the Devil, is very relevant. Jim is also going to have a hard time getting that bounty hunter, who is currently on the Force, off of the Force, in order to fight Daniel on the Force. It's 7-4 right now. If Jim commits the Iggy D, it'd be 7-7, and Daniel would keep it. I think we're going to see a Jim passing. The other Defil on the table too. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guns for each of them. One, two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guns for each Devil. It's a lot of guns. And more importantly, it is just a diversification of threats. Jim has 4 units now that threaten Daniel's board. When Daniel attacks, it's going to be that much harder for.
Ping the job objective. Refresh.
I see your discard file.
Yeah. There's a
Hold on, Daniel. You can't just play Life Creates It for no effect.
Oh really?
You can pitch it in refresh phase. You can pitch it in the draw phase, but you can't just play it for nothing.
Okay, I'll just pitch it in.
Yeah.
Well, your bounty listing is tapped, right?
Yeah, Daniel was trying to like play Life Creates It. Don't revive anything.
Someone, don't care who, and then Life Creates It, bring it back.
There you go. So you're popping the Jumper Bird, playing Life Creates It for it back, and then pitching another card. Like it.
Okay.
Cool. Daniel finds the loophole. Nicely done. So
And draw 5.
pitches other Sabine. So that means if that Sabine's got to find her armor soon, right? Armor on Sabine is kind of relevant. It makes her actually have to care about how many guns the Def will have.
Okay.
Yeah, he just asked how many knights do you have, and he said, "Oh, I've got 5 because I've got the objective." That means Sabine with her armor has 5 health.
No.
Okay. The Lost Master lands.
Jim letting the Force Master, the Lost Master hit the table, despite having a 2 money objective up. There's the Sabine armor. Oh, I called it.
Play red 5.
Red 5.
1,
See, here's
3.
where we are. This is now a complicated game of Star Wars cards. A painted red 5. So Daniel has a very
Go to Force.
very diverse set of threats here. Not only does he have all these units, and he's actually starting to get some bombs on the table.
2.
Jim has the ways to deal with them, but he can't deal with them all at once. Not to mention this improvised explosive actually being kind of scary. If Daniel finds the second one, which at some point he will, then attacking Jabba's objective will be easy. Does Jim want to attack? I don't think Jim can attack into this. Yeah, this is a tough spot for Jim. Dial's going up. Dial's at 6. Dial's really slow though. And that early damage that Jim got down when he had that moment to attack with the Bounty Hunter is relevant. But the Bounty Hunter on the Force is just the worst thing for him. If Daniel attacks, maybe he just defends with the Bounty Hunter to get it shot. Yeah. This is a tough one.
I'm sorry.
2 cards.
This is a stalemate right now that Daniel will win when Dial hits 9 or 10. And notably, when Daniel attacks at Dial 9 or 10, Jim will have a very good defense. He'll kill most of Daniel's stuff, but Jim won't be able to close out the game. And that's what Daniel's playing for right now. He's going to win in the course of 2 attacks, which happened very late in the game. And that's one of the things. Okay, so looking at Daniel's list, let's take a look at Daniel's list for a little bit again. He has all these threats that make a board state very strong. And on almost the Jumperbirds alone, he is the Jumperbirds and his units having 3 health, as opposed to Jim's light side. Look at all of Jim's units; they all have 2 health. Since Daniel's deck has 3 health units and Jumperbirds, he's able to build this board state. Which, hey, now I've got a Spider. Now I've got Sabine. Now I've got a Heavy Not Threatened. Now I've got a paint job on a thing. And he hasn't even found his. If he plays MoMA, which I think he wants to, he would go get the Hidden Grove. And now he has more cards. And he has the Improvised Explosives, which can be recurred with the Junk Dealers, get more damage. It's a very interesting board. Huh. I think I put Daniel ahead. I think that Jim, found his offense and then wasn't able to keep pushing with it. Really, that size matters not play. The size matters not play from Daniel into the gift from the past to keep the force is what's enabling Daniel to keep doing this. If Jim had been holding the force, then Daniel wouldn't have 2 damage on the board, which is fine, but Jim would have 2 more ticks on the dial. Dial would be at 8. Suddenly, Jim passes again, dial to 9, and then he can blow up 2 objectives and win. That's what Jim wants the game plan to be, but he's running Zuckuss to ensure that yes, he can do these things, but he's running Zuckuss so he can hold the force a little bit stronger, but without that actually working, because Trujillo is working against him. Like the 1 Echoes in Daniel's deck might actually be huge to commit the Twi'lek or decommit the Sabine. And Daniel still has one of all of his best tools. Yeah, Jim is just in a rough spot. He really wants to take the force back. He doesn't like taking this ping damage. He doesn't like having a softer Jabba objective is rough. I think he used a hospitality, didn't he? No. Jim needs to find the death mark, but he can't on Sabine anymore. So the death mark has to land into dice. Ugh. Yeah, Daniel is playing this deck, which I'm sure only he could make and only he could play, in such a weird way. That is, I've never seen a endgame board state build up in this way to this position, if that makes sense. Like the sequencing of how he is keeping it alive is, let's make Jabba Bird, defend on Jabba Bird, and use Sabine for money. Let's commit Luke. Let's have a spider just also around to, like, if Daniel has to defend, he'll almost certainly defend on either Red 5 and give it a tactics from Sabine. No, he'll make a spider on Sabine and defend with that. Huh. Let's also notice that he painted Red 5 instead of the spider. A very New York thing is to paint the spider in this position. But Daniel values the 3rd bomb and the tactics. Like, painting the spider puts another tactics on your board because it makes another rebel unit. Painting the Red 5 gives you another gun on the board because it would and another bomb. I guess the 3 bomb unit is valuable to Daniel. He wants to double strike with it, which size matters not. Yeah, I shouldn't hate on that. That's pretty good. Especially it could be 3 guns, it could be 3 guns and 2 guns because it's Red 5 and a tactics. That's a scary attacking unit. That's 3. It kills the Defil, it kills the Jabba, and it tactics the Iggy. That Red 5 is a monster.
Oh, those birds.
And that's all because the Defil took that extra damage. Yeah, Jim could defend with all 4 of his units, lose the edge battle, and Red 5 just walks in and takes what he wants. Red 5 needs the shield from R2. Man, Daniel actually, if Daniel gets to the late game when he has no cards in his deck and all of his things on the table, he's got a good board.
No, just Sabine. I got 8 on the force.
Jim is, Jim's attacking. Alright, let's turn up the volume here.
Sure. Cards in hand?
5. And my Defel is currently sitting at 1, 2, 3. It's currently sitting at 5 black guns.
So Jim walks in with just a Defil. What does this mean? What is this attack trying to do? He's trying to take the force back. Like, Daniel might not defend this. Like, he doesn't want to get shot for 5 guns. He doesn't want the spider to get shot. He doesn't want to... Doesn't he? That Defil has no icons. If a Jabba Bird shows up, Daniel could just defend, pass on edge. Like, you can defend with dice, Red 5 here, and Sabine one of them. You can Jabba Bird the Defil. Oh, and then okay, it's got Master of Night, but then it would go down to 4 guns. Master of Night's good. Master Knight gets shuffled into the deck too, so it lands on a new unit. I don't know. Jim is attacking with a valuable unit to get a valuable benefit here. Because the other thing is, okay, Daniel lets us go unopposed, let's say. Tactics lands onto dice. Then Jim can pass, commit Iggy D, and has 7. Then when Daniel refreshes, he only has 7. Can't take the force. Because it's tied in Jim's favor now. This is a very smart attack from Jim. Which is defensible. But if Daniel has okay, Daniel has to not have a punish on the defense and then not have a punish on the offense. All for Jim to take the force, which is important. I wonder if he will mercenary
Throw a
contracts.
Lost Master in front of it.
Okay, so Daniel defends with the Lost Master just to take the edge battle, which is, I think, very smart.
Okay.
Could have been a Jubba bird. Could have been a Jubba.
I'll pass on the. Actually, no, I want to edge. Sorry.
Huh. Jim, considering
I will
like
put
maybe
in-
just guns is fine. Hey, I got.
I'll edge a card.
Okay.
1 in.
Jim might have a replicant droid from Recon Mission. Those are no good in your hand until you win an edge battle. Ho ho ho! This is scary. I don't know what to make of this. If I was, I'm happy I'm not in those seats. Remember, Jim also can't edge his whole hand. If he does, Daniel's gonna get 4 free cards out of it from the double paint job. That's terrifying.
All in with 2.
All in with 2.
I will pass.
Okay. I got 3 pips. What about you?
I got 4.
Nice.
I got 5 pips.
Okay. Sure.
Jim has the right number of dots.
What did you edge, by any chance?
Daniel edges on
Friendship is
allies.
magic and life creates it.
Oh, okay. So both life creates it are in your discard
Yeah, they're
pile.
Both life creates it are gone.
Any shenanigans on your?
No, you can strike.
I'll put 5 guns into that guy, and I will put
Tactics has to land on dice, right?
tactics on.
I guess I can land on Sabina the Jump Bird for the same effect, but like Jim certainly passes here, takes force with Iggy D.
Can you tell me have you pitched any well equips yet?
He pitched 1.
I think 1, but I'm trying to remember.
They can't hear me.
One's gone.
Relevant.
All right.
I wonder if Jim is trying to set up for
Cardgamedb?
more attacks.
None.
I will put a tactic on. Who are your people on the force? And the
On
Java
those
Bird and those two.
Also, it's nice that he took out the... all of the things I was saying was ignoring the Lost Master,
I'll put the
which
tactic on.
totally swings all of this because Tressa, again, coming in huge. Daniel would have had one more guy on the
dice.
force. Yeah. Commit dice.
And I'll
Focus
get a
dice.
unopposed bomb on the objective.
Yep.
Yeah, already got the unopposed. That was up top. Is Jim going to attack again? Certainly not, right? I want to see if he makes the mercenary contracts, if he makes the Defil again. I don't think it's necessary. Actually, no, it might be more necessary this time than it was last time. Because Jim is minus 2 cards. And that's a real thing. And not having the Alliance of Evil is rough. Like, that was... Jim wasted 5 dots. Jamie used 5 dots and his Edge 1 shielding card just to take the force here. I think Jim has 2 cards in hand.
Put 2 Java Birds.
Jim, how many cards do you have in hand?
3.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Jim's holding 3 cards. Jim's turn was play a thing and attack. I think it was the Freelance Assassin attack. Is he trying to attack? What does he gain from attacking? Focusing out dice doesn't really help you that much. Focusing out focusing out any of these things is really hard. Just because Daniel's board is so
you
wide.
got 5 on the force right now. You got 4 on the force right now.
I think he has to commit Iggy D and pass. Oh, could he spring the ambush? Oh, he could spring the ambush. That's
I will.
that's the big brain play here.
End conflict.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to force.
Yeah.
I'm going to put.
little dice.
Sorry?
You gonna kill dice?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
All right, he doesn't spring the ambush. Honestly, you could spring the ambush
So,
there
my
onto the
turn?
Jabba Bird
Yeah,
and
I
then
take the
use
force
Iggy D
with,
to take the other Jabba Bird. I
yeah,
think that would be a big play because
Okay.
both life creates that are gone. That would be huge for Jim.
Draw.
That would be a great play. Springing the ambush would have been good. And then Iggy D would have done a thing. Wouldn't that have been cool? Like his words, he would have done his words thing. But he is like doing the thing of being a 5 cost, 3 health, 3 dot elite droid. All of those things are being valuable for Jim right now. Huh. So how does Daniel respond to this? Does Daniel attack? Like this is what you're supposed to do in Star Wars. You wait for your opponent. You put your opponent in an uncomfortable position. You make them attack you. You make them overcommit to that attack, and then you
Give me a sec here.
you crack back harder and win the game from that. Jim intelligently found an attack into this disgustingly large board that Daniel didn't want to
At the start of your turn, can I zap my Defel? To ready him? Or is it too,
You're good. Yeah, sure.
is that okay?
Yeah, Jim ups his guy. Which I find super interesting. Like, now the Defil is weak to the improvised explosive. Maybe that's the attacking Defil. Like, now he only attacks with that Defil ever. One thing that Daniel's board is missing is Chuds, and that's what, like, Jim actually has 4 real units and 3 Chuds, whereas Daniel's board has 5 units, if you count the Spider, and 2 events on sticks. But now, Dial is at 6. Daniel actually has to start attacking, I think. Maybe he can wait one more turn, but Daniel doesn't have the Force anymore. And he can't take the Force with 7 to 7. I think Daniel's best draw is the Lost Master, which Jim could actually bounce a couple times, which is kind of funny. And look at all of Daniel's units being immune to threat removal, and like they're all enhanced. Isn't that wild?
I forgot you had Durl. I forgot you had Durlin in the pod.
Let's go to conflict.
All right. Daniel plays natural cover goes to conflict.
Make a spider.
Okay. Make spider before using the dice reaction.
Engagement against the middle objective.
All right. So Daniel says conflict. Here I come at night. Which I think this is the right time to do it. It's after Jim attacked. Jim, can you scoot your cards up a little further?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Actually,
there we go. Great.
Yeah.
So now Daniel has... Daniel having dice makes this very scary for Jim. Jim just has to be confident that he knows how to defend right. And the improvised explosive is really scary. Does Jim do a full defend? No, Jim says... Okay, no, actually the explosive isn't here, so defending with this Devil is probably okay. I wonder how expendable he sees this Devil as. Iggy D does not come with a third gun, unless he has Friendship is Magic, which might be there. There is no heat on the light side. Something might get had now, which is probably why Jabba isn't coming. Jabba does have a gun, a blaster pistol, and Master of Night, which means that he is super strong, but Jim doesn't want to risk him. Jim is on 3 cards to Daniel's 5, which is the right time for Daniel to be doing things. And Daniel's attacking the middle objective, which means that he intends to go pretty hard at it. Daniel is showing $3 open. The spider is a unit, but he has the Journey Through the Swamp, the neutral money, and the natural cover. And I think that natural cover is also a big deal. It means that Luke or Sabine might not die. It means that Luke or Dice might not die. It only protects characters, droids, or I don't know. It protects Endor objectives and characters for sure. Might also protect droids.
Okay.
Doesn't protect ships.
Um,
Okay. Defends with Defil with 5 guns and 1 health, and Iggy D. Ooh, I don't know what's in their hands, but it must be good. Okay, so things that Jim could be holding. Obviously, Guri, Twist. There's 2 heats in his deck.
Evil, Droid Uprising, Payout, Alliance of Evil.
So yeah, Jim Daniel's checking like what could be picked up from Jabba's objective. Nothing too special there. Payout's kind of cool, but like whatever. There's some 2-dot cards. Daniel is figuring out how he wants to respond to this. Like, Jim is showing 2 tactics icons. It's not the end of the world if Jim... Okay, so if Jim didn't attack last turn, then Daniel would be able to still hold the force, and he probably wouldn't have attacked it this turn. But since Daniel couldn't hold the force, he's not standing for that. So Daniel's got to attack. Maybe he has an Echoes. Doesn't have the other Lost Master. Probably doesn't have Trujillo. Shoot, he would have played her.
Luke, Sabine.
Luke, Sabine, defend. Note both are enhanced, so they can't be threat removed. Note that Sabine, neither of them are painted.
Debating if I want to give Sabine the edge.
Daniel doesn't know if he wants to action Sabine for herself. She's not painted. Defil can shoot through Luke even after his Master of Night gets popped, bringing him to 4 guns. Natural cover will get him. But neither can shoot through Sabine because of the natural cover. And that's, I think, a very big deal.
So I will pass with edge 1.
Sabine gets her effect, which means that Daniel loses a bomb.
1 card in.
Sabine has edge 1.
Okay. 1 in.
2 cards in.
Jim has 3 cards to Daniel's 5, and he's edged 2 of them so far. Daniel's going to call the twist. Watch it. Daniel's going to call the twist and pass.
Let's say 2 cards.
Okay.
I'm going to pass.
Jim holding 1.
Let me check real quick.
Which I think is really where Scum needs to be. Jim needs to be holding 1 card to threaten Guri.
To think of how many pips you can have here, like what's your ceiling?
Daniel makes an interesting comment. What's your ceiling of pips? But like that's so scary into Scum because he's also got this twist. He's got this Guri. He's got threat removal, which is bad right now.
With that, third card.
I'm going to pass.
Yeah, pass is good. So I'm at a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The twist the fate.
Yes, Jim gets the twist
What did you
into the I have you now.
Have you now, Battle of Endor, Older Arnian Artist.
Yes. All right.
Here, 1 card.
Jim makes the big play.
1 card.
Edges the dud card.
How many cards I think?
Now Daniel is smart here. Twist is really nicely negated by the edge 1 of Sabine.
Sure.
So Jim couldn't like just kind of hang out there.
The Grove.
Okay.
So I went 3 to 1.
Daniel edges one card. He edges the Grove. Gets Jim's threat removal, which is otherwise useless. Wins the edge battle,
Sabine's
which is huge. Like all of these things that we've been saying assumes that 1, Jim defends hard, and 2, Jim wins the edge battle or Guri's or something. Jim both loses the edge battle and has no tricks. So Daniel gets the
And Luke strikes for 2 more bombs, 2 guns into Iggy D.
yeah, and there's I think the second time Jim used the Defil was okay, but the first time Jim used the Defil, he took that damage on him, and that damage is relevant because Sabine's 1 gun got to shoot through the Defil. That is a long ripple effect finally coming back to bite Jim. Wasn't that Jim's like first turn play or something? Defil plus Bounty Hunter. And that's really relevant because Jim now loses 2 night cards that he can't get back. Now, Jim is holding no cards. Daniel can draw 2 cards here if he remembers. I ain't giving it to him. But Daniel's next 2 actions should be draw. He should have done that before attacking, before striking. Once Jim drops down to 0 cards, those custom paint jobs turn into huge engines. And then he draws 2 more cards in Jim's refresh phase. Suddenly, Daniel's got 5 cards in hand. Daniel's trying to, like, which attack do I do next? But no, Daniel gets to have everything right now. He has the Jubba Bird. He has... Oh, man, this is terrible for Daniel.
If I send the spider or not.
This is so bad for Jim. It's amazing how delicate this board state was. Like, red 5 can just kind of walk in there, threaten Jabba. And now, like, the Master of Night and the Defil leaving the table means that the other Defil only has 3 guns now instead of 5, and that's a huge deal. The Defil having 5 guns means it threatens Sabine, means it threatens things through natural cover. It means that... but now Jim lost him and he can't get him back.
I have 1 card in hand.
Those 3 units, I didn't hear where they're going, but I'm sure we'll find out. Jim tends to tap his objective, yeah. And what does he do against this? He got under the I have you now, which is very big. Otherwise, AED would have been gone and Jim would have been very sad. Dial's at 6, Dial could go to 8, and Jim can't close out the game from there. Probably only going to go to a 7. But Daniel is like, this is Daniel's attack.
I'll throw a Twi'lek in front.
Sends a Twi'lek, says you have to spend a card. But you're going to get the objective. Oh, he's actually not going to get the objective. Daniel only got 3 bombs here, and he's going to get unopposed for 4.
Let's paint job. Draw a card. Paint job again.
Daniel paint jobbing after declaring attackers. This is when I say Daniel has sloppy play. I don't know if he forgot or if he like is like trying to hedge something. That should have happened the moment Jim loses 2 cards.
Well equipped.
Oh, that's so bad.
All right, so red 5 strikes first, kills a Twi'lek, 2 damage to the objective.
Yep.
I'll have. So that's going to be a bomb, and then I get 2 tactics. Let me see where I want them.
And Daniel finds the other well-equipped. I bet you had that. I bet you held that in hand.
1 from dice,
oh, maybe not.
1 for an oppose.
Maybe not.
Tactics here.
Because it feels like that's a thing that could have landed in the Twisted Edge battle. I don't know.
Let's put.
No. It had to happen in the second Edge battle.
And 1 on Iggy D.
But he found, like, Daniel put these refresh tools in his deck.
Next engagement.
He focuses Iggy D, might not know he's elite.
Objective.
Interesting choice. Let's see if he regrets that. And interestingly, if Jim loses an objective here, then he'll have a card in hand, and Daniel won't get 2 more cards off of Paint Job. That's relevant. Then Jabba could walk in and...
Okay. So throw nothing in edge, blow it up.
Jim goes to... Okay, so Jim goes from having 2 damage on board to having 2 almost dead objectives.
You get the thing goes back to your...
Yep. Are you going to pick up an event?
And the dial is going to be in...
I don't have to worry about...
Daniel definitely didn't remember about the Defil.
Evil?
Sure.
How many cards do you have in there?
2. It'll be 4 once I paint job during your refresh.
I get a card back, so you're not going to be able to paint job.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, good.
Jim is preventing
That's why I wanted to let you blow it up.
the 2 more card
I
draw.
was hoping one of these other things would blow up, actually.
Oh.
That's fine.
So Jim,
Okay, so
again,
we're taking
like
force.
last game was Jim being behind. Jim was when Jim was on the light side. Jim was behind the whole game, and Daniel was checkmating him with all these interesting plays. This time, I think Jim was pretty ahead for most of the game. Jim was playing defensively but strong, and without killing Daniel's units, turns out that it's just fine. Force his light dials at 7. Yeah.
Yeah, he's deliberating something.
Cool.
I'm trying to figure out whether I want to bring back the threat removal or whether I want to bring back.
Okay, so right now, like, all these things happen anyway. Jim is figuring out which card to pick up. I think he picks up either of them and then pitches it in draw phase. I don't think he needs either of those cards, and he doesn't need Daniel to know about either of those cards. He could draw a recon mission here, which would be great. The Alliance of Evil is a shield, though. Maybe that's relevant.
I'll do a line. I'll take back Alliance of Evil.
Okay, I could see part of Jim's turn being attack with Jabba. Ooh, that's a bad draw. That finds me. It's way too late for that to be relevant.
Draw 5.
Is AED elite? Am I just wrong about that? Oh, I'm just wrong about that, aren't I? Hold on. Cards, scum. Oh, I don't play AED enough. Look at me, I'm bad. Oh, he's not elite. Oh, that's too bad. God, I've been saying that thing's elite all game. Someone should have like been hitting me hard with like, no, that's not elite comments or something. I don't know. Okay, so that's super relevant. That's Jim, you could have picked up the AED event. That's the big brain play. Pick up AED event and make a unit. It's kind of good. So one thing here is that Daniel still hasn't drawn any of his Momo tools, or like I think he edged both of his hidden groves, but more importantly, he didn't. He hasn't played the junk dealers, and that's a big deal. That's a huge deal, because getting those bombs back, I think there's 1 bomb left, but getting that back is rough. I think here the turn has to be attack with Jabba, focus out Red 5 Luke. Buy another turn. There's only 1 size matters not left. That's the only refresh trick Daniel has, which is real. He could play Durlin, he could play Bale, he could play Tantive 5. Ooh, Tantive 5. Jabba's got to attack here, and then okay, so let's pretend Jabba attacks. Then Jabba Bird pops his tactics. You trade it for the Master of Night. Now the Death has only got 2 guns. That's a problem. That's going back to Jim losing that other Devil.
Hey Colby, was there 2 on this?
I don't think so. You didn't play. You only played 1 card last turn.
Yeah, I think you're good. Like that should be untapped.
Yeah, I think you only played the Freelance Assassin last turn, and then you attacked a bunch.
Yeah, that was my.
Yeah, there's no way that's over focused. Okay. I wonder how confident Daniel has felt throughout this game. I wonder if, like, early on Daniel was upset about his board state and then it got better, or if he felt ahead from the whole start. I want to see Jim play BK.
Mm-hmm. See what you get.
I want to see Deathmark kill Luke. That costs 2 cards, though. That's, like, not enough when you have 2 objectives just teetering. Another relevant thing is, if Jim decides to attack with Jabba, he might not be able to take the Force. Then he loses an objective, and that's not okay. Yeah, the turn has to involve
One of everything.
defending with Jabba, something with Guri. Oh, look, you can't refresh AGD on unsavory contracts because he has 2 damage on him. That's a real cost, that card.
One size matters not, and both well equipped.
Yeah, Jim is looking for Daniel's refresh tricks, which is the well equipped and the.
There's only. Oh yeah.
And the size matters not.
One size matters not. 2 well equipped.
And Jim's going to attack. Jim might attack with the Devil. I could see that happening. But then Jim has to like win an edge battle kind of hard against a Jumbo Bird, and then the Devil just doesn't even get his tactics off. Ugh. Yeah, that Devil can't. That Devil's really bad without the. This is rough, Jim. Freelance Assassin? That's not a bad attack. That's not a good defender, and it's a fine attacker. Huh. I don't know what to do here. This looks like Daniel's game. Guys, take it from me. The light side ain't so good. Okay.
Sure.
Here's a droid. It's free because of Jabba.
Sure.
Now what? Interesting. Very reserved of Daniel to like only take 1 objective that turn. I bet he could have done a different. Like this is the smartest attack. He still wins the next turn. Dials at 7. Man, these light side splits. What Oh, you know what? Need to add a text box. Text. I have one for this, right? Round marker. This is and let's make it blue. I don't know where the blue is. It's here somewhere. Yeah, let's actually like remember what event this is, shall we? Man, what's Jim gonna do? Good thing these rounds aren't timed, right? Like this is not slow play. This is a very difficult board state that both players have to manage. And really, it's on Jim to not lose here. Here comes both guys. If you defend with the Jabba Bird, you'll lose a guy. I don't know. I don't know. This is tough. Is Jim going to try to take an objective? Dial only at 7. Dial to 8. Turn 9. 10, 11. Taking 2 objectives doesn't even do anything for him. This is why that whole force struggle battle that happened early on in the game was so important. Oh, this game had it all. This is a great game. By the way, if anyone didn't realize, this is a phenomenal game of Star Wars cards. Both players are playing at the top of their game, and I don't know who's. I mean, right now Daniel's better, but this whole game I've been unsure who's winning.
Sycophant, going to conflict. The Twilight Sycophant and the Freelance Assassin are going to go into Desert Recruitment.
Okay, those 2 to the top. I think this. What this says to me is is that Jim has double allies, but that doesn't work against a Jabba Bird. Isn't one allies gone? Yeah, there's the allies.
Allies of necessity.
So he has to have the other allies. He's trying to pop a Jabba Bird.
I saw 1 allies in there.
Yeah. So in a normal game, double allies
Let's
and no Jabba birds
say
means
no
that
defense.
the sycophant gets 2 bombs, blows up the objective unopposed. The hunter gets 2 guns, shoots into red 5 or dice.
You.
Into red 5 because dice
My
can
freelance
protect himself
assassin
with natural cover.
is going to put a gun into your not on the force Jabba bird.
Sure.
Okay.
Get one for unopposed.
I think that killing the on the force Jabba bird is better, but no problems there. It means like killing the bird that's on the force means that Jabba can attack and the bounty hunter can take the force.
My Defel mercenary is going to go in against the
Okay.
middle objective.
Oh, okay. This is interesting. So if Daniel defends and loses the Jabba bird, then Jabba's free to attack. Otherwise, the Devil's going to focus on the Jabba bird, and Jabba will get 2 focuses all over his board. Kinda cool. That was a very narrow play that Jim found. And bringing out the sycophant means that in the previous fight means that if Daniel defends with the Jabba bird, wins the edge, then it still gets shot with the sycophant because it has a black gun. And if he doesn't defend, then he gets shot with the white gun of the targeted strike unit.
Okay. I'll pass.
Yeah, so here Jim defends. There's nothing really gaining from defending. Jim is taking out the Jabba birds.
One in edge.
1 in edge. What is that?
Just one.
Pitching cards? Uh-oh. There's the bomb.
I'll take an action.
Yep.
Bird is gonna get a gun from Sabine.
Bird gets a gun from Sabine.
So Bird focuses strike, put a gun into the Duffel.
Free gun to the Devil, which is really relevant when you're trying to refresh him at the end of the turn.
And then before you strike, I'm gonna sack the bird to try to take out Jabba's tactics.
And then Master of Night will respond to that.
Like that.
Sure. Then you get one
Master of Night shuffles into your deck, my friend. Read that. Read that. Make sure I'm not lying. But I'm.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
no,
right.
you're right.
Isn't that weird? You actually got to use Master of Night. Awesome. Okay, so Daniel finds 2 small pieces of value here. He gets to pitch his bomb, which he didn't want in his hand, and then he got a free gun on the Devil, which I think is super relevant for the same reason that the last Devil died with 2 guns.
You get the card, you get the card. If you don't, you don't. Jabba's going to go in against the bottom objective.
Yeah, Daniel isn't even wasting time.
On your guys.
Yep.
You got it. You got it.
Now, is
You don't.
Jim going to refresh anything?
I'll take the force with the freelance.
Is he going to refresh anything on mercenary contracts?
4 cards.
Alright, 4 cards.
Jim has the mercenary.
I'm going to damage the defense.
Okay, he does. Jim hasn't learned his lesson. Jim is totally fine having Devils with 2 damage on them.
And draw.
Daniel discards another bird. That is 3 birds because both of the life creates it are gone. This
Birds of Xavier. Bring it.
yeah. Jim is saying if you find size matters not, then you found it. Like that's what it is. I want to see Daniel's deck start to bite him here because if he draws the Lost Master, he really can't play him because Jim has plenty of money floating to joust with the Lost Master money.
1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 of
Yeah,
money.
yeah. Daniel just asked how much money do you have, and not like do you have money open. So he's definitely holding the other Lost Master, and they're about to play the bounce game. Oh, how cool is this? Look at this late game, open money, super focused out board. Jim might squeak this out. I don't know, because Jim could end the game next turn. If Daniel can't refresh his board, then he's got a spider.
Seen any hospitalities, right?
Yeah, have you played your hospitalities? He's definitely holding a Lost Master. Oh, I called it. I'm happy I called that one.
Payout. A Droid Uprising. Alliance of Evil. And a Threat Removal.
Yeah, Jim has played no Hutt's hospitalities this game, which means that this Lost Master is dead on arrival. Jim is holding, what, 1 card? 2 cards? 1 card?
Oh, got shuffled in my deck.
Wow. Yeah, Daniel drew a Lost Master and like nothing else. Daniel does not want to pay for 5 for a Lost Master. Daniel would happily play Trujillo here. Trujillo is one of the better draws Daniel could have. But if Daniel dead drew here, he has a spider, which is very strong, but Jim would have dial +2 to 9.
Yeah, I'm gonna zap him.
Oh, instant zap. And that is a very important action economy thing, because Daniel would then, his next action would be to buy a bomb.
Yeah, 3 cards in hand. Now?
Possibly to defend himself. Jim holding 3. Like, if I were Daniel, I would consider putting a bomb on one of my Journey to the Swamp. The specialist guy in the deck.
Nope.
Okay.
Mr. Mustache. Holds up natural cover and necessary alliances. Definitely holding a Lost Master.
Make a spider.
Ooh, Daniel makes spider on his turn. Is he trying to win? The board is pretty open. That spider is a pretty free attack. The question is, okay, Jim has 3 units. That Defil is actually looking kind of nice right now. That junk dealer would have been real nice to have on the board, especially with a bomb to threaten the Defil. Wow, this game is really close. That spider's a unit. It's going to attack. It could. It doesn't. Nothing's gonna get Sabined here. Sabine's tricks are actually a little bit wasted right now. The third gun doesn't matter, and the other guy's neutral.
Yeah, 4 in hand.
Yeah.
So, if Spider goes in at, let's say, BK objective, and Jim just defends with a bunch of guys, then does Daniel have enough to get on a post? Is there a bomb in Daniel's deck that he could get?
The middle objective.
He's already pitched Dice's event, which is kind of a thing that can happen. Okay, so he uses Dice to attack. This is the thing I was forgetting about. This is super duper relevant. Jim has to defend against the Strike Team Assemble attack and against the Spider attack. I don't think there's a double attack. But if Daniel's holding Size Matters not, this game is almost just over. It might be the best play for Jim to triple defend here. Oh, but then if the Strike Team Assembler guy comes in and Daniel wins the edge, then he just wins the game on the Spider. So Jim has to defend on 2 guys?
Action.
Sure.
Jim takes action. No. Hold on. Don't take that action. The attack has been declared. We are in Dice's framework, yes?
I mean, the Navi's app is up.
No. Jim is about to take an action, yes?
Yeah.
Jim just said I'm about to take an action. We are not in an action window. We are in Dice's framework.
Is there an action window? Okay.
No, sir.
Is there an action window between? So if I declare my defenders, is there time to take actions before the edge battle?
The action window was when the spider was created, and then before the engagement was declared. Since there was an engagement declared with dice, there is a defender declaration, an attacker declaration, and then there's an edge battle, and then there's an action window.
Okay, so after dudes are in the conflict, you can take an
Jim,
action.
you have to declare, then Daniel has to declare at least 1 unit, then there's an action window. We are in Dice's framework. If you had an action you wanted to take before the engagement was declared, that's between the two of you if you guys want to talk about that. But right now, after the engagement has been declared with dice, there is no action window, that's how he works. Sorry, friends. Yeah, that's where we are. Attackers, defenders, action window. Jim is holding the Alliance of Evil? Did he want to use that? Probably. Because that shield on the objective is relevant.
Is there audio? I hear like a blank.
No, you're good.
Okay.
I'm muted. But now
I
I'm
mean, if
not.
you have another hospitality, like you can declare defenders, I declare attackers, and then you bomb off the specialist.
He
Like
doesn't
that's the only
have a
action I think you can have
hospitality.
here.
No, he's got the shieldy object. He's got the shield event. He wants to give his guy shielding before he declares it. And edge 1. Very relevant.
Um,
He picked it up. We know he has it in hand, right? I think we know he has it in hand. Tough.
unopposed.
Interesting. Jim lets it go
Let's have
unopposed.
Nabi going unopposed.
So here's what Jim thinks is going to
throw
happen.
in nothing in edge.
Here's what Jim thinks is going to happen.
Blows up.
The plan A is to let
Tap
the spider
down.
go in. Spider goes in, blows up the objective. Jim loses an objective. He's really sad. Then the strike team specialist is going to come in and get his white bomb for the game. Jim is going to get his shielding. Oh, he has the size matters not. I think Jim wasn't playing around this.
How many guns available do you have? Yeah.
Jim was not playing around the size matters not. Jim is like,
Question is, do I want Sabine?
Jim-
3 in hand.
Yeah.
Jim was playing into
Do I want Sabine or do I want the 5?
just the strike team is specialist and an edge battle.
The answer is I want.
And he wasn't going to win the edge battle. He was going to get the shield instead of winning the edge battle.
And move this
But
to
Daniel found
I
the
don't
trick.
know, the Nabi.
Daniel takes Sabine.
Does he have an action?
At present, no.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sabine and the specialist at the final objective.
I'll play an alliance of you.
Yep.
I'll give the bounty hunter edge and the battle droid.
Shielding. Alright. I'll give Sabine edge and let's do it. So we're both at edge 1.
Yeah.
1 an edge.
One and edge.
2.
2.
All in with 3. So I got 7 plus the edge 1.
I got 4 plus the edge.
Next
Good game.
GG. Dial at 7.
Yeah, I wanted to.
Incredible.
I wanted to play the alliance going into this, but I don't think it really matters.
Yeah. No, Dice ate your action window.
I mean, it could have made a difference. Like,
It may have made a difference, but I mean, it's my own damn fault.
I mean, I guess if you play Alliance of Evil
And
before
shield
you
edge.
attack,
Wow.
I'm not attacking the middle.
Check it out. Daniel had the Lost
Like, I
Master
would-
and
if you
the
say, "Here, I'm
Dressage.
gonna give a dude shielding. I'll just send the spider by himself at the bottom to get rid of the shielding guy one way or the other.
Yeah, but you would. Oh, if I had started at the yeah.
Okay, so that was interesting. Daniel's saying that even if you did the Alliance of Evil first, then I have counterplay to that as well. That game was wild, guys. That was amazing. Are we just rolling?
Yep.
All right, keep it rolling. All right, I will step away for a moment.
Nice game. That was a really nice game.
All right, let's see here. Where's my affiliation? Yeah, that last turn where everyone got tapped down, I thought for sure you wouldn't attack with Java. So I was like, well,
I
maybe.
mean, I either win or lose on if you have size matters. I mean, like,
Yeah, my deck was at like 12 cards though. So,
yeah.
well, the hard part for my head, I was like, okay, well,
I had really bad edge though. All my cards were really low pip.
I wasn't super worried about the edge. I was more concerned with how many ways can you just kill my guys? Because also, like, my edge hand was kind of garbage. So, like, I had a Trujillo and a Durlin.
Yeah, that was way more. That was way more pips than.
Yeah, so I was thinking I could play, like, say, either one of them. Probably Durlin because he's only 3. So I was thinking I could play him. He can't get killed by anything, except you still have a Guri available.
Yeah, I didn't see
So,
Guri
like,
in either game.
So Guri get, like, so, you know, I was thinking, like, a Guri plus a Heat can actually, like, lay out either Trujillo or Durlin, even with the protection.
Right. Well, not Dressage.
Well, I mean, I was thinking like you can have like a couple heats, a Guri, and then maybe because like I hadn't seen any heats either, and I know there's 2 in the deck.
Yeah, I didn't see a heat either game. Interesting.
So there's just like ways that happens, and then also like I would then have lower pips.
Yeah.
To work with, so all of that was like a concern.
I had to be a little bit wary about edging everything in an edge battle that wasn't the last one.
Yeah.
Because you could just draw 2 cards.
I don't know if you would have had the gas to kill me if that attack doesn't work.
I hadn't seen any of my replicant droids, so possibly.
Because I think what I do is like if that first attack doesn't pop the objective, I think I untap probably like a red 5 maybe.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And then get the extra tactics. I'd still have the spider tactics.
Yeah.
So Daniel, like, if you don't draw the size matters not there, I think Jim wins.
Maybe. Well, I mean, he had the kill spell, right? So he would have still needed to blow up 3, which is easier said than done.
No, he only needed 2 because you were gonna lose the force.
Are we sure about that?
Yeah.
Who do you have on the force?
He had 1 dot. You had
I had an open force card though.
You would need 2 units. Okay. I don't know. He had a dot. If he wins I think he wins the force and wins the game.
His dudes that had the force, I would probably tap them anyways. Because like if I had that same hand and I just swap out size matters not for something else, I think the play is play Trujillo. Trujillo and Spider go lay waste to one of the objectives, and then just tap down Blast.
Interesting.
You tap down on Iggy D, I guess.
No, you have to tap out force.
Tap out my force guy.
Like if Daniel takes the force there, then Daniel wins. Okay. Yeah. Good. That game was crazy, guys. Oh my god. I have so many questions for Jim when we go back and watch it again.
I mean, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, that was Jim. You're gonna have a lot of fun watching these games back, and anyone else watching these games is gonna be like, "Wait, this is a 3 light side wins so far."
Yeah.
It's amazing. Okay.
Tell you, those birds
they're annoying.
They're tough.
All right, do you want to cut?
All right.
What about you?
I've muted myself now.
You're good.
All right, we're on to game 4. Daniel is up 2 games to Jim's 1. All wins have been on the light side. Hey, guys, just a point tally right now. Jim has 6 plus 7 is 13. Daniel has 3. Yes?
Yep.
Cool.
I'll keep.
All right.
Okay, so Jim is up 10 points. It's going to be very hard for Daniel to, if he loses this game, also take the tiebreaker. Daniel flops well. Jim's flop is super important in the Hoth matchup. That is arguably better than the last one. The thing that says Hoth objectives don't take unopposed is pretty good. It doesn't mean that it means that 2 bomb units can't blow up an objective, but it also means that a regular Chud can't get a free unopposed. You can't go in with a Defil and get a damage. Super duper relevant. That Twi'lek never gonna get a free damage. And you can argue that having 1 APD is plenty. It's hard enough to hit in this card pool, but in this deck. So having the second APD is unnecessary. But having Inhospitable is the big deal for Jim. And having Hold the Line defends Inhospitable. Seems good.
Money. And then BK, BK gets a blaster pistol.
All right.
Commit the Chud.
Daniel plays 4 cards
and
turn 1,
pass it over to you.
which is probably fine. But
The APD?
like, Jim could have the line here where he plays a big dude and then another big dude because he has inhospitable, and then gets I have you now. Like this is prime I have you now territory for Jim.
Hit Charter D2.
But like as far as Daniel's concerned, this is one of the stronger turn 1s I can imagine out of this deck that don't involve Jabba. Playing 4 cards turn 1 is great.
Echo Scout?
Oh, the Echo Scout for APD.
He's gonna rip for 3.
Focus.
Oh, sorry.
Echo Scout has to focus. He ain't just free. He is that good.
The last one says no one opposed, right?
Yes.
Base defense? Okay.
So yeah, Echo Scout lets Jim get a free card all the time, which is a little scary up against a Blaster Pistol BK. That thing is actually kind of vulnerable. But it lets him set up the APD, which is, if it's there, he's going to have it. And I don't think Jim is going to get the APD out of this. I really need to see that Echo Scout get defended for a turn. Because based on how we were starting this game, which I know it's only been like a couple plays, but this looks like BK doing BK things as he tends to do in the Scum decks, which we haven't seen BK start at all in these matchups. BK hardly ever hit the table.
Now you get to draw one of those cards, right?
Yeah.
Do I get to see it or not?
No.
Okay.
BK is going to come in and attack Jim and take out some of his guys. If Jim finds Durlin, I think that's the strongest thing he can do here. Either that or I have you now. Jim needs to deal with this BK by either preventing him from attacking or by killing him with I have you now. Otherwise, Jim's going to be pretty sad. Pays 3 for bail. Okay, Fleet Command Center. Gets the shields. That's relevant. Show me Durlin. Actually, you know what? I'll take a Wilderness Fighter too. Okay, there it is. He's Durlin. He's Edge 3. He's got a Tactics. He's all that. Takes Force with Durlin.
Sure.
Takes Force with Durlin is fine against the Twi'lek.
Gonna connect Durlin to the force.
Especially because Durlin's elite. And he's going to get the shield. That's what I was going to say. Durlin is about to get a shield going into the next turn. I can't imagine that shield landing on the Echo Scout. I gotta see that thing landing on Durlin. Yeah, the Echo Scout's like a defensive play. The Durlin lets you attack, lets you go into tactics icons or something. But Jim also plays 3 cards, draws 1, and he can actually defend that Echo Scout now. He really wants to find I have you now. I also like Jim's he's playing it like tempo-wise correctly, where he plays the Echo Scout first and draws his favorite card. He might even still APD. Having the Echo Scout for 3 is so good. Okay, here's Joss with no Knight cards out. So Joss isn't even elite. Definitely no targeted strike. And Daniel curving out really nicely. I think that's some of the best openings that Daniel could have. But like the turn 1 doesn't get punished for playing 4 cards. Turn 2 plays 1 card with 3 dots. Doesn't mind committing him. He's not elite yet, but he will be. And not under threat of dying. This is a closer game than the last one for sure. Daniel's actually got units this time. But this really all comes down to Jim, as he says, keeping Daniel honest. Does he have the I have you now? Is he going to play it? Is he going to find it? And he can obviously win edge. Durlin has him edge 3. Oh, okay. So Daniel, here I am. I've got Alliance of Evil. Edge and shielding on my 2 different units. I'm going to attack you because I want to take out your Echo Scout.
These 2.
Daniel does not mind attacking. Okay, going for Darlin's objective.
On the Sycophant.
Shielding on Sycophant means that he doesn't want to get shot by Darlin's gun, but he's weirdly not afraid of the tactics from Darlin. That is like I thought the move was to get the shield on BK. You know what this might be? This might be double allies, because double allies says that the Twi'lek with the shield doesn't actually get shot, and the Twi'lek will put 3 guns into Darlin before he gets a shield. There's one. Jim not showing the have you now yet.
Pass is good.
Please be I have you now.
2.
1 allies.
4.
Okay.
Okay, Jim wins edge.
You win edge.
Yep.
Let me see here. So allies are gonna go because Darlin only has 1 gun, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah, look at
gun to the
edge
Sycophant,
3.
Blast to BK,
Gun Sycophant.
and then
Turn this up a little bit. Gun and Sycophant.
let's throw Vibro Knife on the Sycophant.
And the Vibro Knife, because he lost edge by 2! Wow.
Strikes to you.
Wasn't double allies, it was allies and then Vibro Knife. So Daniel is actually planning on getting the scout as well.
Cards in it?
So the question is Darlin going to focus the Joss or the BK? Focusing BK means that Echo Scout doesn't go away. Focusing Joss means you have an open board and the Force. Joss's objective isn't here.
Put a
And you know, Daniel could be pretty confident about that play because he has Guri's
BK.
objective out.
Okay.
Yeah, Gunlands into BK. This is easy.
and a tactic into
If Jim had... I have you now here.
into BK.
Okay. Tactics on BK because he values the Echo Scout more, which I believe is correct.
Oh, it was the extra gun.
Yeah, and then no one opposed because the 1 objective.
Yep.
All right, next engagement.
And look at
Jasper is gonna swing at the.
oh wow. Look
got
at-
well equipped an edge.
Ooh, the well equipped.
So 1 total damage there.
And look at
BK is gonna swing
Jim's
at the
Hoth
other-
objectives defending themselves.
Kill the dude, untap the Inquisitor,
This was really bad for Jim.
and then gets 1
So-
total damage.
Silver lining for Jim, he took 3 less damage than he expected to. Which is a very real thing.
Commit this
Hold the
Inquisitor
line,
right here.
actually being an MVP right now. If Jim wins long, then that's why. But losing the Echo Scout and Durlanair is a big deal.
Got those tricks.
Yeah, Joss bringing the tricks. And you know what? It's not surprising that Jim lost his Durlan there. There's double allies, but also there's the heat from Guri. There's actually playing Guri. There's the Vibro Knife, which he had. I was very short on counting all the tricks that Daniel could have. Triple heat was honestly more likely than the double Vibro Knife, in order to take out the Durlan. And if Daniel doesn't defend, if Jim doesn't defend, then he loses Durlan anyway, and he probably loses more. But it is very nice that Jim took no damage on his objectives. Very, very little damage on his objectives. There should be 3 more bombs on his board and hold the line. Holding the line. I think another big miss is the Fleet Command Center. So the question is here: how much can Jim punish? The plan is for
1 for Rogue Leader.
you got to put down ships.
1 for
Are
Rogue
these-
2.
Rogue 2, Rogue Leader is a
2
big play.
for a Wilderness Fighter.
Wow, that is the most amount of bombs I think Jim could have put on the board at one time. That is a huge deal. Because he's also going to get the tactics off of the Rogue Leader as well,
Fighter is going to go in
or whoever that is. Rogue Leader, yeah.
Guri.
Cards in hand.
3.
And all of this is because he had the cost reduction.
I'll
He had 2
say,
cost reduction from the Hoth objectives, but this is a big deal.
No edging, no cards.
Okay.
3 bombs.
Wow.
Mhm.
Big retaliation. If Daniel was threatening to close out the game by like killing Jim's objectives, then yeah, then I would put Daniel ahead here. No, Jim, you have to attack. You have
You have
1,
cards in hand?
2, 3 and unopposed bombs. with those two and a black tactics into BK. That's so important. Oh, wait. Daniel has a unit. Daniel has a Imperial Inquisitor. Where'd he get that guy?
And an APD?
Sure.
Looked at it too hard. Probably red 5. Red 5, yeah. I think Jim attacks here. He's afraid of losing the edge battle, because if he loses the edge battle, it's actually pretty bad. But if Jim doesn't attack here, then he's never going to get anywhere in this game.
The top objective, the middle objective,
Java's objective.
Yeah, taking 3 bombs unopposed at Java's objective. If Daniel defends, he gets shot, he gets sad. But Jim is doing a very similar thing to how I had to play a lot of my games, especially against Jim. It's that if Daniel has it, then he has it, and Jim is gonna be sad one way or the other now or later. The only way that Jim wins this game in the long run, because he was ahead, or he was doing really well. Now he's actually pretty far behind.
No offense.
Yeah. If he doesn't do this now, then he's not going to win later.
Focus red to 2 bombs.
So yeah, Daniel doesn't defend, no edge. Bomb, 3rd bomb. Tactics on BK is good. Unopposed gets a 4th damage. Daniel wins the force though. And you know what? This is actually pretty good for Jim, because Daniel's only going to have 2 units now. Joss has no elite and no targeted strike. If Daniel doesn't have a lot of money. I think Daniel's best turn involves giving Joss targeted strike. So like I would go Defil plus Master of Night seems like a great play here. Also relevant is Force Storm. So Jim actually commits all 3 of his units. Jim says, I am never winning the Force, but I am not getting stormed today. All 3 of his units, because he only plans on striking with them once ever again. He's probably going to lose them anyway. And if Daniel had Force Storm in some world, then Daniel would just shoot the guy that's not committed. And that is committed, and the Force Storm would hit the other guys. Yeah. Jim's very weird committals are entirely because of Daniel's 1x of Scouring the Empire. Daniel's Jarek, just in the deck, has gotten 3 focus committals out of Jim. And also, Jim is resigned to just not taking the Force this game. I think he took it early with Durlin. And now he's like, you know what? I just don't want to lose. I don't want to lose any more units. That sucked. I have my Fleet Command Center, which is going to have all sorts of money. He's going to have a bunch of shields. Okay, there's Defil. Show me the Master Knight. Freelance is bad. Freelance is good for Daniel, because it's going to kill Rogue Leader. And this is why Jim really doesn't mind committing, because he knows he's going to lose his units one way or the other. He's just hoping that, like, ooh, with a blaster pistol, now he's going to lose one of his better units.
Go to conflict.
But let's look at this. Hold the line. Holding the line again. That's a 4th damage is going to eat.
Darwin's objective.
Honestly,
Sorry. I guess it doesn't make a difference. Alright.
Yeah, hold the line means that Daniel's deck actually has to get objectives with bombs instead of with free attacks.
Wilderness Fighters.
And this is really weird for Daniel. He doesn't like this. So, Daniel goes wherever,
Swings
takes out Wilderness Fighters, which I think is real. That's a good play.
We just tap down Rogue 2.
actually,
They represent 5 icons.
Before your attack.
Here's Defil. Here's APD. Jim knows what card is on top and still doesn't make it. Jim's just trying to scare us. I think the defense there would have been a big brain play, because he could have had the free attack with it earlier. And Daniel takes out the Rogue 2, which I think is strange. Rogue Leader has the black tactics and is going to have a shield. He played 3 cards. Jas on Force. Okay. Jim is Jim is expecting to have no units. That's why he committed them. That's why he doesn't really mind if they're dead or focused. He also, let's remember, he's up 10 game points. 13-3. Daniel has to have dial at 11 if he wants to actually win the thing, win the tiebreaker on game points. So Jim actually doesn't mind if the game goes long. He just has to. He'll still win the tiebreaker to go to game 5 and pick probably dark. Actually, if he wins the game, I don't know if he picks light or dark because everyone says dark side's better, but Jim's light side has felt stronger. He's flopped 3 Hoth in both games though, which gives him just a huge advantage. If he wasn't flopping Durlin, then he's actually very behind and probably loses. So, how does Jim proceed? He gets a shield in his rogue leader, which is very good. Means that winning the edge battle means he doesn't get shot by Jas. He wants to get another tactics on BK. Jim doesn't have a lot of tactics in his deck. His best play probably involves I Have You Now. Man, Luke is a good pod. I Have You Now is such a cool card. What is Jim going to do? He has his Fleet Command Center money this turn, so he could do Akbar things. I think an Akbar turn would be really cool, but that means he would have to win an edge battle. Which is kind of hard to do. Jim has the tools to do that, though. Like, it's not hard to do, it just is a lot of commitment. You have to, like, put a lot of cards into the game to do that.
Spend 1 for a sub-zero defense.
Oh, that's really good.
Turn gets blown up, right?
So that says, Jim's reading it right now, the first unit to attack against a Hoth, each of Hoth objective each turn or something like that, just dies after they strike. Which means that if Jim flopped 3 Hoth and hold the line, which means that now BK, Joss, even the Devil just can't attack Jim, or they'll die. It doesn't, like, I thought Sub-Zero defenses really should enhance an objective. And actually, enhance any objective for that effect is probably a cool card. Turns out flopping 3 Hoth and just putting that on the table is disgusting against Scum. Okay, here's Bale. Bale is not the card I want to see here, but it's something. Like, Jim is at least using his money, and you can see that he single focuses the Fleet Command Center, which means that he's not trying to do anything too fancy here. It seems like he should play another card or two and pass. Yeah, play a Snowspeeder.
Diplomatic presence on
Diplomatic presence on
attack pattern delta.
APD. Values APD over the other two?
Actually, we'll put that on.
No, put it on Durlin. Or Hold the Line. Honestly, Hold the Line is getting you a ton of value right now. And this is another issue. You have 4-4 on the Force. Jim, you really want to take the Force here.
Let me go to Force.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Bella on the Force.
Alright, so I'll still keep the force. Alright, so dial to 6. Refresh. You have 3 in hand?
3 in hand.
Okay.
No up money.
I'll discard a
Anyway.
freelance and draw 4.
So, I don't mind Jim's turn. It means next turn he's going to get the shield on Bale. Maybe he'll actually stay on the Rogue Leader, but he'll have the other speeder back. And Jim can't attack him now. Or Daniel can't attack Jim now.
I can run and use the restroom.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's crazy. All right, I'll let you hang out with me, Daniel. Mid-game thoughts.
I mean, it's good to have creatures, you know.
Hold on. I don't know if this is legit or not. I don't know if I should be talking to you or not, but I have dead air to kill.
But I got yeah, like the first game with this dark side deck, like not only was a hand bad, like he just rolled like incredibly good, especially on APD.
He rolled high.
Like that's
He rolled very high.
Like APD is one of those things in this pool. Like normal pools, it's inconsistent, but this pool, like statistically, you're lucky if you hit once per game. If you ever hit twice, that's really lucky. I think the only way that you can mess with those odds is if you have the little Durlin derp.
Yep.
Because he basically gives you 3 extra hits, you know. So then at that point, if you have like a Durlin derp early, you know, your odds of hitting probably go up to about 50%, like to get once per game.
I think it's higher than that, but sure.
But then it's like, okay, well, he hit twice, and I'm like, okay, there's no hope here. I was just trying to play for game points as much as I could.
You got 3.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there wasn't much I could do there.
No, it was a rough game.
Pulled. But no, his objective that's stopping unopposed is real. Like I think it's prevented 5 damage so far.
I'm counting it. I think it's 4 so far.
Oh.
Oh no, it's 5 because you attack with a Devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was joking with Mick that this deck, like half the deck's blast is just unopposed damage.
Turns out, you've lost an objective so far, worth of damage. You would have had. Yeah.
I basically need to just keep his board thin. That's the plan. And if I can do that, I'm good. Bale having tactics is real, though.
Have you ever blown up Alderon's Promise?
I've never blown up an Alderon's Promise in a game.
I'm not sure if I have. If I have, it might have been overkill.
If I ever blew one up, there was definitely no Bale or Artist.
I wish there were. I wish there were more Alderon.
Yeah. Like honestly, Bale just needs one Alderon pod that you can play as a 2 of, and then he's golden.
All right. Welcome back.
Okay.
Let's keep rolling.
All right. Let's see what I'm gonna do here.
I think Bale's pretty good. I am happy to see him like getting actually played.
Let's give Bale a death mark.
Uh-oh, Deathmark Bale.
And then
Bye, Bale.
not yet.
Alright.
Here's a freelance.
Let him stew.
So there is some actually real truth to Daniel saying that this deck's entire all its blast damage is unopposed.
Freelance assassin by itself.
I think that Diplomatic Presence really could have landed on Hold the Line.
The middle.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Daniel's threatening that Bale pretty hard. I kind of want to see Jim hard defend on this one.
Actually, sorry. Do you mind if I throw another guy in there?
That's fine.
Forgot about.
Yeah, I was figuring you were like, are you sure about that?
Yeah, no, I forgot about the thing. There, throw the sacrifice in there.
Jim, how does that card read?
It reads, enhance your play area. Destroy the first enemy unit to strike against a friendly hot objective each turn.
Cool.
After its strike resolves.
Thank you.
Cards in hand.
So what that tells me is it's not each Hoth objective doesn't kill 3 units a turn. It kills 1 unit a turn, which is still very strong. But it means that Twi'lek can actually take the hit instead of the freelance assassin. But like, it also low-key kind of means that focusing out the Twi'lek can mean the assassin has to kill itself. Like, Jim is showing no guns, but will guaranteed kill a unit. And the allies, like, again, Daniel's play pattern says to me that there's no allies in his hand. Otherwise, the Twi'lek would have been a part of the attack to begin with. So I'm kind of not afraid of it. Like, the allies would mean that the freelance assassin could shoot Bale, which is a much bigger target than... I don't even know anymore. The rogue leader has his rogue 2 friend, and Bale has a death mark on him. So at some point he'll just get hospitality'd.
Okay. Edge battle.
I think the double defend is correct from Jim. Get your tactics in there while you can. Get the Defil out of here. Even though they are both committed, it feels kind of bad. Like, this is where committing that rogue leader earlier feels really bad.
Want an edge?
One card in.
If Jim wins the edge battle, he could actually do a play where he doesn't shoot, he doesn't tactics any of the guys in the engagement, lets his units kind of die, and focuses out like the Defil and the BK. That's not a bad play. He definitely needs to focus out the BK. That thing is threatening to kill the rest of his board and focus it out. Oh, 3 guns and a tactics? Seems kind of good. But the advantage of the Hoth deck in general is that it can rebuild some sort of attack every turn. You can play 1 or 2 units and attack every turn. The problem is it's not super good at killing the dark side board, and those attacks look worse and worse and worse if you keep losing them or having to defend badly. And Jim is getting to that point. The way to get out of that is having ways to kill units, which is I have you now, which is 3 guns from Wilderness Fighters.
Okay, I got 5.
7 to 5, so Jim wins the edge.
Win by 2. Let's bounce the chud.
Hold on. We have fake cards to do.
I have Battle Hoth.
Sure.
Uh,
I guess I got allies too. So.
yeah, you got it. So Battle
Yeah,
Hoth.
Daniel getting ahead of himself. Battle of Hoth will actually heal a thing because Battle of Hoth. Now allies.
So I'm gonna bounce your what's it called? Your rogue leader.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna say
Daniel edges hospitality.
blast. Well, let me see here. Gun.
Interesting. That is a free kill onto.
The assassin has a gun, and
So they both have 2 guns at this point.
They both have 2 guns that are black. Oh, and Daniel edges the hospitality because he knows he's gonna get it back. And Daniel pretty much has to focus out BK here, and then the Devil's gonna take out his other ship.
The Twilight, the blast, and
the assassin again.
assassin again.
They're all showing 2 guns, and Jim is kind of debating right now if he wants to focus out the
Focus Bella,
assassin to get the rogue leader safe.
and I am going to put a focus token on
It's gotta be BK, right? Feels really bad, but
your
it saves the one guy that's still gonna be around.
freelance hunter.
Sure.
What?
Twi'lek focus to strike.
Okay, so here's Jim's play. I don't know how I feel about this. Jim says, my board's gone anyway. They were committed, they're going to be over-focused, it doesn't really matter. You can come attack me all you want.
Oh wait, you couldn't engage this objective until you went somewhere else.
No, we're at the middle.
Oh, we're at the middle. Okay.
He engaged the middle. Yeah, you tapped it.
Sorry, my fault. That's right. Sorry.
Freelance.
Jim is saying,
Rogue 2.
I'm going to lose my guys anyway. You can attack with BK. He's going to lose... Instead of... I'm just going to take away all of the things that you don't want to attack with anyway.
No, on the assassin.
Okay, you're good. Alright.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So, the freelance assassin takes the tactics. Seems fine. Here's this. I don't have to make sense of this nonsense anymore. BK comes in, kills probably rogue leader.
The neutral objective.
Rogue 2.
He's going to kill off Rogue 2.
Yeah, gets bomb.
Bale.
Now Bale's sad.
Tap the resource.
Oh, that's where he got the thing last time. BK refreshes a non-scum resource. That's how he took the force last time. That was
Throw this
really strong.
at the bottom for 1.
Freelance gets a free bomb.
So he got a deck with the bomb on yet? No. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so it should have 2 damage on it.
he gets
One.
bomb and then 1 on.
Yeah.
Turtle. Okay.
Can confirm that's accurate.
Okay. And then keep force.
Cool.
Pass
So
it over to you.
Jim is just not afraid of his units dying because they're gonna die.
A Jasper, a Duffel, and an Inquisitor.
Jim is just gonna rebuild and go again. He's gonna get a shield on Bale, who's never gonna come back unless he gets Sterling event.
I'll keep rogue leader. Draw.
I can't let him know about the Fleet Command Center. I'm pretty sure that's optional.
3.
The shield. Too bad. So what does Jim trying to do here? What's the next play? Jim has to take 3 objectives to win this game. Can he take 1 or 2 this turn? The problem is if he takes 1, then the death mark is live. So is the threat removal. Ugh. Gotta take out Jabba objective.
What's the dial at? Dial's at 6.
Yep.
Force is dark, dial's at 6. This game looks very different than the last one. This looks like what this matchup should look like. Jim is building a board and then getting some bombs, and then Daniel takes it apart every single turn. So the reason that Jim has any hope in this game at all is because of hold the line. Daniel should have so many more bombs, like 5 or 6 more bombs than he should, than is showing right now. The dial should be 2 ticks higher. Yeah, there's the Fleet Command Center shield. But Jim flopping 3 Hoth and having hold the line means that Daniel just can't get those free bombs. Daniel's gonna have to get there the hard way. With like printed icons, ew. Ugh. What is going on in this game? How does Jim come back in this game? If he let's pretend Jim takes 2 objectives this turn. Does he win? That's a good card.
At least I know you have 1 in hand.
That's a good card. That is a black bomb when he needs it. Is that the first? I think that's the first hit he got this game.
1, 2 for Wilderness Fighter.
Yep. And this is what you can expect out of Jim's deck. Here's a Wilderness Fighter. Here's an APD.
1, 2
Show me a Wilderness Fighter.
for a Wilderness Fighter.
So, what can Jim do here? I think there's a line where he sends a bunch of units at Scouring. Oh, is he gonna play another Durlin? Wilderness Fighter? Wow.
That's about as bad as that could have gone.
Wow. Jim suddenly showing enough icons to win the game. He makes 7 blast out of nowhere. But like he had to draw 3 Wilderness Fighters there. And like the attack has to be, here comes a Wilderness Fighter to the bottom, here comes a Wilderness Fighter, here comes 2 to the top. Daniel has no shielding, but he can pick up Alliance of Evil. If this goes to another turn, which I think it will, I don't think Daniel loses here because he does have,
Sorry,
he has Alliance of Evil in the discard pile, which means he can get a shield. We can protect his objectives.
I got a threat removal. I got a protocol, hospitality, and an alliance leader.
I think he has to like go rogue. Like if Jim is trying to win right now, he has to go rogue leader to the middle. Before Daniel has any things, he has to not get heat of battled, which, okay. Blow up the objective with a bomb. Oh, don't do it. You're gonna get heat of battled, Jim.
Alright. I'm going to...
Like, the game plan Jim has to be looking at here is take 2 objectives and leave the other one damaged. Jim can't win here. One, because of the Jabba the Hutt objective bringing stuff back, but also Daniel actually has a defense, even if he loses all the edge battles.
I will go to conflict.
Yeah. There is a defense for Daniel here, but part of that defense is losing guys to the 3 guns of Wilderness Fighters, because they each have 3 guns. Jim played 15, 16 icons today for $6. Those Wilderness Fighters are mean when they have 3 guns. But one way or the other, I don't think Jim's going to win here. Don't do it, Jim. You're forgetting about heat of battle. I don't know. Yeah, the way to win the game is you take that to the middle. Yeah, you can't. You're gonna get heated. He hasn't played any yet. Double heat might come out, but what Jim is really afraid of is the Force Storm. Like Force Storm taking out 1 or 2 of those is rough, but really BK can do that. Joss can do that. the freelance assassin with a gun can do that. Those guys are not going to live. So Jim has to get as many bombs as he can right now.
The Java's objective.
Yep, here's the speeder coming in at Java's. Watch Daniel defend with like the Defil here.
That's a goner. I'll pick up.
Oh, he just lets him have it.
Alliance people.
Yep, there's the alliance. And that alliance is almost certainly going to defend Scouring. So Jim's play here has to be go get Guri and then go get Scouring.
Did you get yourself something for lunch? Nothing. There's nothing here for lunch.
So Daniel also is tipping his hand that he has no heat of battle, or because Daniel can't close out the game here.
Can you make yourself something?
Like Daniel is still in a very controllable position here, but Jim is like winning this game on hold the line, which is wild. Jim is talking to his family right now. That's why he's not like thinking super hard about this. I'm sure he is, but okay.
And that's your only card in here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Daniel only has Alliance of Evil in hand, so Jim has a very clean attack.
So
Yeah, go to Guri.
Wilderness Fighter. Go in against the Guri objective up top.
Yep, this is right. If Daniel only really has only that one card in hand, he could defend this one on Alliance of Evil. And let Scouring die. I guess it's functionally equivalent.
Let me think on this.
The difference is he probably has to defend a little harder.
Let's have.
Don't mess up, Daniel. Doesn't give you a shield, he gives you shielding. You have to play it before you declare defenders.
Everybody block. Give one of them shielding, one of them edge. Shield the objective.
Yeah, okay. They're gonna eschew that, the sequencing. So Daniel is actually going to try to defend that objective. I think defending with all three is a little greedy. It does mean that he has to defend with three because if he gets had now, then Jim will get wrecked. No, then he would get wrecked because he would lose a unit, get shot with the other one, and then just lose the game. Because it would be 2 bombs and unopposed, which gets through the shield. Jim is debating right now to play the I Have You Now or not. He has to play a card. He has to edge something.
I'm trying to figure out what I want to edge. Sorry.
I don't really care who has the edge one.
I'm going to edge. Yeah, no cards, right? Oh, you played it, yeah. I'm going to edge.
You got to put 2 pips in to win.
Yeah. I have.
Okay,
I'll
so
just edge this.
so they're being clean about it.
A Battle of Hoth.
Sure.
Battle of Hoth.
I'll take it off of APT.
Wow, that is like 9 damage that Jim's deck has healed so far.
Who are you killing?
Between Hold the Line and
I will kill
the Defil.
your Defel Mercenary.
Right, because now Joss isn't even elite.
And I'll put 2 bombs on the objective.
Sure. I'll hit you back for 1 gun. Swing at the air.
Wow. And Jim doesn't even lose his Wilderness Fighters.
Alright. What's the dial at 6? Can you blow up everything?
No, he certainly can't. He doesn't have unopposed.
These 2 guys are going to go in and blow up the Jared
Man.
objective.
Yep.
Now, let's see what Jim commits. I bet you Jim commits the 2 undamaged Wilderness Fighters.
I'll go to the Force. I'm going to put the 2 healthy Wilderness Fighters on the Force.
Jim is not getting Force Storm today. Jim needs 1 more bomb and he has a bunch of units. Daniel correctly remembering that Joss is not elite.
Hunter in the Night.
There it is.
And Unsavory Contracts.
That's interesting. That means that Joss is going to come back.
Oh yeah, dials an 8.
To defend.
Draw 6.
But Jim will almost certainly win any edge battles on defense. So Daniel dial is at 8. Daniel needs 2 objectives to take dial to 11. But he doesn't have the bombs. He doesn't have the bombs in that deck without the unopposed. And with the Battle of Hoth just actually getting so much value. So, here's the question. If Jim wins this game, which it looks like he will, we will have a 4-game light side split. What deck will Jim choose to play in the last match? I don't know. That is a tough one, because historically, the dark side decks are stronger. That's what this whole meta has been. Wow. Okay. Anyone who's been sticking around this long, I will probably have to cut the video into 2 videos. Maybe I'll restitch them together. YouTube doesn't like videos that are more than 4 hours long.
How I can survive.
Yeah, Daniel just doesn't know what to do because Forston doesn't even save him.
Because if you could give me a minute, I can put some food on for my daughter. Hold on. Well, yeah, I'm gonna put on some water. All right.
Yeah, this is going to a game 5 where Jim is probably going to have the choice of what to play. No one sees this coming. In this meta, a game 5 on light side wins. And Jim is playing a very interesting playstyle, very correct playstyle with this deck. It is play bombs, attack with them, win the edge battle, and then lose them all. And he's committing all of his units because he knows that he's probably going to lose them. And one way that he loses them is Force Storm, so might as well commit them. That's one less way you can lose all your units. And in the next turn that you don't lose them. Because like if they're not committed, the next turn they die, kind of rough. So Daniel is finding a very narrow... No, Jim is finding a very narrow line here, a very strong play style to beat Daniel. And this time, Daniel had his strategy. Daniel had his deck running on all cylinders. But Jim is winning this game on Hold the Line and Battle of Hoth. Really on Hold the Line. This stopped like 6 damage on its own. Insane. Sub-Zero defenses is also kind of nice. Got a Twilight out of the way. And also just kind of forces Daniel to attack extra. Man, what a game.
Do you get the elite from flipping the knight, or do you refresh your units before you get the objectives?
You refresh first.
Okay. Oh, it's like Chimera.
Yeah.
And Daniel is hanging on by a thread. He did find the Alliance of Evil line to buy one more turn.
Go to conflict. BK and Freelance Assassin. They're gonna go at the neutral objective.
Okay.
This thing. I'm going to APD.
Sure.
Jim doesn't get another free unit.
All you?
Alright, so
Is he going to
Freelance
edge?
strike first.
Okay, he doesn't. He doesn't edge.
The, committed, one of the committed Wilderness Fighters and dies.
Okay.
BK strikes, kills the other committed Wilderness Fighter, and taps down the other Wilderness Fighter.
Yep.
Untaps the resource.
Okay. Now Daniel is doing a very smart play here. Not a
Oh, you
gets
get
bomb.
You get bombs. You get bombs.
One bomb.
Daniel's play smart here because it saves the cards in his hand, gives him the strongest defense possible. I bet you he's going to refresh that BK on the objective because he's the strongest defender he has. And he's also threatening Force Storm.
Let's say untap BK
Yep. Strongest defender.
and pass it over to you.
Alright, Jim. You need one bomb. Can you find it? Durlin seems like a really strong bomb. Durlin can't die to... Durlin doesn't die to Force Storm. That is what Daniel is like showing right here. I have all the money. I have 2 units that are probably going to die anyway. Force Storm is the narrow way that I don't lose this game.
Rogue Leader will get the shield. Cards again?
6.
Shield off a Bale.
Oh, shield. Oh, sorry. Thanks. Pitch. Draw.
Jim pitches Rogue Leader.
2,
It seems like there's so many of that in his deck, but there really aren't.
4.
Yeah, that hadn't hit the table this game yet. Crazy. Oh no, it got threat removed. That's where it went. Deja vu. Jim is going to aggressively APD. He's not holding Trust in the Force, or use the Force Luke. Yeah, Jim needs one bomb, and he's afraid of heats, he's afraid of Gurries, he's afraid of everything in Daniel's deck, especially Force Storm. Gurry is the way that Daniel finds another turn out of this. Because Jim has to attack that objective. He doesn't have any tactics tricks, he doesn't really have much as far as like fancy play going on. Jim could try to take the Force for a turn. Dial to 9. Daniel's still going to have a hard time taking 2 objectives. Again, he should have a lot more unopposed damage than he does. And the Battle of Hots are doing work. So yeah, dial to 9 versus dial to 10 doesn't matter, but dial to 9 versus dial to Force Storm matters. For what it's worth, I bet you there's a play where Jim could play Durlin and hold the Force for a turn. That doesn't happen. Yeah, Jim doesn't get to win the game on a Force ping. Not with this deck. But Daniel has not shown any heats or his Gurries. He showed 1 threat removal, but he has all of his money up. It's got to be Force Storm because he doesn't want to play units and get them zapped. He also knows he has to win an edge battle. If he gets had now, then he's also really sad. No twist in Jim's deck, so all those heats are live. Jim very reasonably could wait another turn. Daniel did not use any resources this turn, so kind of waiting makes him feel all right. He can wait, he can commit some guys, dial goes to 10, gets under Force Storm with some things, and then next turn he gets the Fleet Command shield on something useful.
4 Luke.
4 for Luke. Okay, so this Luke, what does it do? This Luke, this Luke loses to Gurry Heat. It doesn't lose to Jess Gurry, because Jess Gurry, Blaster Pistol, BK doesn't get there. It loses to threat removal. It loses to... When I say loses, I mean it doesn't win. But actually, it's Luke and the Rogue Leader. It looks like a Force Storm to me. I don't know. Weather's looking kind of bad.
I'm going to declare no conflict.
Ooh.
Going to go to Force.
After you declare
So,
no conflict.
Yeah. Jim declares no conflicts, and here comes the Force Storm.
BT1.
Oh, BT1. Okay.
Okay.
That's
I'm
not
gonna
bad.
go to Force. I'm going to commit Rogue Leader and Luke to the Force.
So,
I'll take
Jim
Force.
is taking the Force here, dial to 9.
Cards in hand.
I don't think he can lose on objective damage here. Especially with the Diplomatic Presence, kind of cool.
Discard.
Protecting that 1 damage. But also, Bale's going to come back. He's going to have the shield from Fleet Command Center, probably on Luke. That's a much stronger play. I think Daniel needs to find a Jabba the Hutt here. Because in Jabba Gurry,
How many Battle of Hots are in your discard?
yeah, Daniel is counting the Battle of Hots, seeing if he can win the game on Blast. I don't think he can. I don't think he can win on blast damage.
Twi'lek. Pay for it with that.
Yeah, so
Yeesh. That feels so bad.
so what's Daniel's play?
So on your turn, you just play lose and pass.
Yep.
Did Sycophant find anything?
No.
Okay. Sycophant whiffs. That's actually a big deal. Finding a death mark there would have been nice. Or even the Alliance of Evil to shield behind the Black Sun. Does Daniel attack here? Attacking means that he has to win an edge battle. And that means... Actually, does he have to win an edge battle? Attacking means that Daniel has to win an edge battle to get any value. Otherwise, BK is going to get shot by Luke.
Sorry, I'm just thinking if
No, take that.
if I can win this turn or not.
This game is tense. Game is dragging a little bit. What is Daniel gonna do? Does he have an out? Like, he's thinking this hard. He's close. He's got something, doesn't he? Might he? There's got to be a Force Storm in there somewhere. Daniel's thinking. This is a close game. The problem is Daniel's thinking about how not to lose. He's not thinking about how to win. Right? How would Daniel win here? Okay. He can't get unopposed on the first objective. So it has to be, let's say, BT gets 2 bombs into hold the line. Or into Echo-based defense.
Alright, let's gamble.
Okay.
1,
So it's
2.
BT's gonna kill
Go to conflict.
Echo-based defense.
Yep.
And then it's
BK.
other friends.
Freelance. They're gonna go at the neutral objective.
Wow. So he is going
Echo-based.
for it.
Yep.
And then BT plus the bomb from the drug dealer
One.
and
Arsenal?
and an allies or something. Oh no, and Joss. So it's BT, Joss, junk dealer takes out the other one with unopposed finally. Notably, he can't attack. Actually, he could have Twi'lek go to the APD and then take Joss and BT to the other one. That's what it is, and he doesn't need the extra bomb. But If he loses this edge battle, then he
I'll
loses
defend the
BT.
post.
Okay. If he loses
Edge battle?
BK,
Want an edge?
I don't think Jim can lose this edge battle. He's got way too many
one in it.
high dot cards.
2,
2,
3.
3.
Yeah.
All in with 4.
All in with all of mine.
Alright, so I'm on 9.
Daniel's at 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 with an I have you now, but a Battle of Hoth. Is that enough?
I'll remove it off of.
Oh no. That's not going to do it.
Alright, heat's gonna get applied to Luke, I guess.
Give me 1 second on this.
Yeah. The
Do you have
heat
it? What was in your edge battle? What was in your edge? Sorry.
A heat, Viper Knife,
Yeah, this
Alliance,
is
and
super
Javelin.
relevant.
All right, hold on. So your heat goes off before my.
Yeah, I mean, I'll throw it on Luke, I guess.
Wow. Jim losing a very important
Goes
defensive
on
edge
Luke.
battle here.
Let's see. How sad is this?
It's pretty sad, Jim.
You're gonna
Is it? You might be able to defend this objective, Jim.
Yeah.
If you-
My Battle of Hoth is going to take this off of.
I think that's
Inhospitable.
wrong.
Okay.
I think that's the wrong play, Jim. Because he still
Your
gets...
strike?
Yeah, focus the strike with BK.
Yeah, you needed to heal this
He's
objective.
gonna kill
Oh, wait, no,
Luke.
is that not right?
Tap down the Wilderness Fighter in the back.
Yep.
And then 1 to the objective, and he
This is
untaps
this game,
nothing,
right?
but dies.
Yep.
Your dude swings at the air,
Yes.
and then the freelance
this
blows up the
game?
objective and applies 1 gun at the rogue leader.
Yep. He'll take that. Click on the ship.
Okay.
This is game, right?
Next
BT
engagement?
Joss.
Gonna say
You don't even need to do this anymore, Daniel. It's just BT Joss.
Alright. Jasper BT at the middle.
So you're going to get 1, 2, 3. That's fine. Yeah, that's going to be it.
Good game.
Yeah, you could have flipped a guy, so you know.
Yeah.
Man,
Good game.
incredible games, guys. I don't know if there's a way to fix that Battle of Hoth, Jim.
No, there wasn't.
If you-
he had the Aqualish. The Aqualish gave him the
Right,
Flexibility.
flexibility. Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
And
I guess,
Looking at it,
I guess the smart move
was diplomatic presence on
on
On-
yeah, like in retrospect, maybe diplomatic presence on that was
Yeah, that's needed to happen a while ago.
turns out the biggest play of the game was diplomatic presence into echo-based defense. Have we ever said that? That game was insane, guys. That series was insane.
too good. Hey, well done, well done.
Thanks, man. Oof. Yeah, that was pretty
Wow.
stressful. Like the turn where I basically said, all right, let's see how much blast you can pump out, and you pumped out 7. I was like, Jesus Christ. Okay, well,
Yeah.
that backfired pretty bad.
No, I mean there was no real way for me to get over that hump though. The way you
I feel
defended.
like if you get 1 more turn, I'm just dead. Because you only need a certain amount of black blast. Like you had 2 on the table already.
No, and I'm saying on that turn, I don't think there was anything I could have done in my attack that would have.
Not with that hand.
Not with that hand, yeah.
And like Daniel was threatening heat of battle that whole game. Like double
Yeah.
heat would have made you very sad at any point in that game. I don't think you played any, except for at the end.
I had 1 in that final edge battle, but yeah,
Right.
they just didn't show up because I have a bunch of them in the deck. There's
You have 3.
here.
Yeah, he's got 3. Yeah, he's got 3. Yeah, I never saw a single heat in my on my side. Strangely.
Man, that was a great series, guys. Anyway, thanks for anyone who watched these. This is a phenomenal series. I got to talk throughout the whole thing. If you want to hear 3.5 hours of me talking, then man, I got a video for you.
Hey, Daniel, that was a lot of fun. It was really a pleasure to play you and meet you.
Yeah, great guys. Jim, by the way, if you would have won that last game with, say, Dial at 9,
Yeah.
do you pick light side or dark side?
What do you pick?
I don't know. Like, I still probably would pick dark because I had success, but like the Java birds really match up well against a deck that doesn't have a way to deal with them passively.
Right.
Like maybe the answer is maybe I just have to attack into the Java birds. That seems wrong.
A lot of people do that. They just swing into them and try to take them out that way.
Yeah.
You played around them very well in the second game.
Yeah, I guess I was hoping to get some passive kills on one of his big guys, and it never really materialized. But I mean, that's the way it is. Hey, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
Thanks again, guys.
Good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Colby, thanks for recording.
Absolutely,
Hey, thanks,
guys.
Colby, for everything.
Appreciate it. All right. Peace, guys.